Hello. It's Friday the 13th.
I didn't know that until...
Are you spooked?
No.
No? You're not superstitious?
No.
I got Chuck Taylor here.
Buddy.
And he's wearing Chuck Taylors. I didn't know that those shoes were called Chuck Taylors till Excalibur explained it to me on commentary. I just told him this 3 minutes ago.
Retry.
So it's 4:35 in the afternoon. It took me 12 hours to get here to Newark. And I only asked you to be on this thing yesterday.
Yes.
And you said yes right away.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
Why?
I didn't think you'd say yes.
It's like an hour and a half away from my
I thought you wouldn't want to do it.
Why?
It goes back to what we talked about at a PWG show a little while back, where I think you don't like me.
Oh, you're one of those.
Which is very interesting. Because I do these interviews with people I'm usually close with, and me and Chuck aren't particularly close. I really know nothing about you. It's actually an issue when I go to PWG and the room's under your name, your real name, and I get there.
My real name?
I know your first name.
Okay.
I don't know the last one, and you need both.
Yeah.
They never let me in. I've had to text and call people so many times. I only found it out like a month ago.
Yeah.
So how are you?
I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad you came.
Hey. I liked how easy it was for this to happen. It was just like, hey, you want to do it? Yeah, sure. I'll be here.
I was very pleased with how easily you said yes, too. I thought I'd have to talk you into it and everything.
No.
So since we don't know each other super well, I went back to the Wikipedia pages. It's a thing I do. But I got two sets. First one is for Chuck Taylor, wrestler.
Yes.
I also have Chuck Taylor, salesman. I didn't print these. Jake Manning printed them up for me. So I appreciate it. I mean, I'm going to learn about this guy.
I don't know a lot about him.
You want to read about him a
Yeah,
little
sure.
bit? Here.
I can read an answer.
So, does it annoy you that, now I know, I wish I had just gone, you know what I should have done when I was stuck in the lobby at the hotel in California, I should have just went on Wikipedia and found your name, because there's a computer right there. I didn't think of doing that. Does it bother you that your real name is right there?
Nah, I mean, I kind of used to it. It doesn't really particularly bother me anymore. I figure if someone wants to know my real name, they're going to be able to find it. Once it's on the internet, it's out there forever, so.
You know who would drive crazy is Generico.
Yeah?
It drove him insane, especially because it was also misspelled. And he went at great lengths to try to have people not know his name till, I don't know, I think he would go and change it all the time, but it would always go back. And
actually, speaking of him, I listened to your Stone Cold podcast last night, and I'm pretty sure he didn't understand that we were the same guy.
Here's the thing. I thought so too, until after when we were done the interview. He's like, hey, I was like, sorry I didn't follow you. He said, sorry I didn't follow you with the Generico orphanage thing, but I don't know, I just didn't want to get into that. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I think it might have taken him a minute to get it though. But on my Wikipedia page, it used to say Kevin Noiseur was my real name, which is a French name. That's not my real name. Kevin Steen's my real name. And Noiseur is my stepbrother's name.
Okay.
So I would go change it all the time because it annoyed me for some reason. And they would keep changing it back to the wrong name. So I emailed Wikipedia. I emailed the actual people that run the site, and it took about a month. But now they fixed it, so the guy can't change it back to the French name.
I think I changed my own hometown on there one time.
And did it stick?
Yeah. Well, I think. They had my wrong hometown, it would really bug me.
When it says build from, or in your actual little description over here?
It has both. Murray, Kentucky is my
Is the accurate one?
Yeah.
That's the one it says right here.
I think it said Mayfield, Kentucky or something at one point. Which is where I went to high school, but I hate that town. I don't really claim it.
Because you went to school there, you hate it?
Just, it's a shit town. It's awful.
What's so bad about it?
It's just...
It's in Kentucky.
Hey, wait a minute.
You like the state?
Yeah, no, just Mayfield is the worst part of Kentucky.
Okay.
That's not true, actually. Eastern Kentucky is
the worst part of Kentucky is Jim Cornette's house.
Never met him.
I know.
Actually, I met him once.
Yeah? Was it great?
No.
Exactly.
I can't tell the story, but...
No, you can't.
No, I really can't.
You totally can't.
I literally can't.
Why?
Because it's a whole thing.
Can we be the judge? We can always edit it out. Just tell it, and then we'll make sure it doesn't make it. He just told me the Jim Cornette thing. It's not going to be on here, but Cornette's a dick. Think of that. That's what I stand by that. What are you going to do about it? You fuck. Anyway. You hate him too?
I know. I don't
No?
have an opinion
Come
on
on.
it. He's never done anything to me personally. I
You
don't
just
I don't-
did that, but you just told me.
I don't carry other people's.
Yeah, well, I
burdens.
guess it wasn't that personal, but
Yeah.
anyhow. So, it says here you were born April 22nd, 1986.
That is true. Earth Day, April 22nd.
Is that it?
Earth Day.
I know April 20th, I believe, is Hitler's birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
And Earth Day is 2 days later.
2 days later.
I wonder if they're linked.
Correlation.
And you're in Murray, Kentucky.
Yes,
Is
sir.
that where you were born?
Yes, sir.
In that town?
Yeah.
And then you lived there for a long time? I wasn't born where I lived.
Oh, okay.
I was born in a different town.
I went to college there too.
Did you? I never went to college.
I have a college degree.
Really? In
Yeah.
what?
Television production.
Have you ever used it to your advantage for pro wrestling?
Just making shitty YouTube videos that nobody watches.
But it sounds like something you could use to get a nice cushy spot in some wrestling companies, no?
That's my fallback plan. If all else fails, I figure with 12 years in wrestling and a degree, I can at least hold a camera or something like that.
See, I wanted to do something like that. I went, because in Canada we have CJEP, which is you do high school, then you do CJEP, and then you could go to university, which is, I guess, the equivalent of college. And I wanted to do something like that, but tacked on to the stuff that was about like TV and film and shit was communications classes. Like you look at a painting and you have to say what it means. Did you have to do shit like that?
Rorschach test?
No, just like interpret this painting, and
painting,
tell me
yeah.
what the guy was trying to do and what kind of stroke he used. Did you have to do that shit?
Yeah, we had
You did that.
history and appreciation of the visual and performing arts, I believe they called it.
Was that? But how did that help you with this?
It makes you a more well-rounded human being.
See, that's the thing I got off from school is I didn't care about being a more well-rounded person. I like being in my own bubble
Sure.
and being ignorant about a lot of things. It's fine with me. But you crave that stuff.
No, not really. It's just part of the, things I had to do.
I'm impressed that you
Part of the
finished.
requirements.
Very.
It took me 7 years to get a bachelor's degree, so.
Is that really long?
Yeah, it's really long.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's a 4-year degree.
Is
It's
it?
7.
Because of wrestling?
Yeah.
Because so you would keep having to go back and not like you wouldn't be able to do it regularly.
I mean, a bunch of things happened. Like, I went to Europe for a month, basically, during the semester, and obviously it's in a school-sponsored function, so they're not like, oh yeah, totally go work for Dixon for a month. Oh yeah, you can audit these classes. They were like, no, what are you doing? And so I failed all those classes and dropped them, and then some other stuff happened, and then I think at one point, another time, like I separated my shoulder and I couldn't sleep. Because, I sleep on it, I was like restless all the time, so then I would skip a bunch of classes, and then I think I failed some more. And
You couldn't sleep on the left side.
I couldn't sleep on either side. Everything was uncomfortable. My shoulders.
Is it still fucked?
Yeah. You can see
How'd you break it? In the ring? Yeah, let's see it.
It's gross.
It's getting steamy. Holy shit!
Yeah.
That's really huge.
Yeah. I don't even know what that is.
Jay Briscoe has that too. He
Yeah.
got gored by Rhino and landed right on his arm.
Oh my god.
What? How did that happen to you?
It was me and Cassandro
Yes.
in Ian Rotten's ring, which you work for him, it's garbage. He went to do like the prawn hold, like the wheelbarrow thing
Mhm.
off the top rope.
Sure.
And we both slipped, and I just came down shoulder first, and it goes. That was a
Ugh.
TPI 08.
I once saw Cassandro break his leg against Red Titus at a Ring of Honor show that had been promoted by Jim Cornette. So it was Jim Cornette's fault, really, but it was gruesome, like bad.
I don't
He
like
just, he
that
dove on Rhett, and Rhett tried to catch him as good as he could, but he kind of flew over him.
Oh.
And just fucking broke his
Oh.
leg, and then kept going. But everybody knew he had a broken leg. It was obvious. It was really uncomfortable and not fun. But and then later at the airport, he was on crutches. Me and Generico ran into him. He was on crutches trying to bring his luggage, and he still had the ladies' makeup on, so it looked real peculiar. And then I remember Generico was trying to help him, but Cassandro was making a big deal out of the fact that Generico wasn't wearing his mask at the airport because he was still wearing his ladies' getup to keep in case people recognized him, I guess. So he didn't let Generico help him with his bag. He just
Suffered.
He just suffered. He was in terrible pain, and he was just dragging his shitty bag along on one crutch and a broken leg while wearing eyeshadow.
What a pro.
It was a great night for him. So yeah, it says you're an American professional wrestler. I think that's good.
That's about right.
Where'd you get Chuck Taylor from?
It
Besides
was-
the shoes,
That's it. It was cool when I was 15. when I started, and I picked.
You started wrestling when you were 15?
Yeah.
On shows when you were 15?
My
Or
first
training?
show I was 15. I started training when I was 15. My first show was 15 at a nursing home in Murray, Kentucky, in the parking
nursing
lot.
home?
Yeah.
For the old people came out to watch you?
Because the guy who promoted the promotion where I trained worked at the nursing home. And so our
That's
first
like
show-
an orderly or something?
Yeah, basically, I think. And so they set up the ring in the parking lot, and so my first show, I have a tape of it. There's just like 40 old people in wheelchairs sitting around, not giving a shit about what we're doing.
You have a tape of this?
Somewhere, yeah.
Oh my God, could you find it and we could maybe clip these in? And send the Highspots?
I'm so shitty. I'm wearing, I had jean shorts that were all ripped up, baseball socks, orange Chuck Taylors, a Burger King t-shirt with a long sleeve orange shirt underneath.
Like a Burger King, like somebody who works at Burger King, or just a t-shirt?
It was my baseball jersey from that year, because they always have like sponsors for shitty baseball teams, and ours was Burger King, so it was a white shirt with a Burger King logo on it.
Did it say Taylor on the back? No,
it just had like a number 8, I think, on the back.
Who'd you wrestle? That was your first match ever?
Yeah. Well, yeah, in front of people. Just Ricky was his name.
Just Ricky? Why was he Just Ricky?
He had another name, and then he was like, "You could just call him." It was the same Just Joe thing. That like,
okay,
I don't know. It was
that worked out great for Just Joe.
It really
too.
did. And he was like,
he
"I'm
rocked
Just
Sunday
Ricky."
Night Heat.
He had a lisp, so he's like, "I'm Just Ricky." He was a nice guy. I don't want to talk shit about him. I don't know what he's doing.
I'll talk.
But
shit, I'm dying.
And he also had
cold. I'm sorry.
He had a manager with him whose name was Rhonda, and she suplexed me on the concrete. That was a thing that happened.
Was she huge? She sounds like she'd be huge.
She was short, but wide.
Stocky.
Yeah, she was thick. She had a good build.
Did you win the match?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't even remember?
No, I don't.
I remember that. I remember I won my first match with a D'Lo Brown like frog splash.
With this one?
Yeah, that one. I didn't do it very well either. But it worked. So that was your first show, but let's go back to like training and all that stuff.
Okay.
When did you? Okay. In Murray, Kentucky, I'm sure there's not a ton of wrestling schools.
No.
So where did you get trained?
Well, I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and I think the way it happened was.
What is sophomore, by the way? Is it
second year?
Second year?
There's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Well, there's only 4 years of high school?
Yeah.
Canada works differently. I wasn't aware of your. We have 5 years of high school.
Elementary, middle, and high school.
Okay.
Those are the 3.
I'm learning things. So then you were a sophomore.
Sophomore in high school, and I think in retrospect, I think what was happening is that there was a girl who was in our school, and I'm pretty sure one of the wrestlers at this place was banging her mom. I'm just now realizing this.
Right now?
Yeah, basically.
Was the girl Rhonda?
No.
Rhonda's mom.
Rhonda's mom.
She's getting it.
But I was a big wrestling fan. I always told myself, like, I figured I was going to have to move away. Like, I'm going to have to move far from here.
To get trained.
Yeah, because there's nothing around here. And then, this girl brings a flyer to school, and she hands it to us because she knew that I was a wrestling fan. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this place is like 20 minutes from my house. And it had been around for like 5 years. This shows you how good their promotion was that I didn't know about, even though it was 20 minutes down the road. And so
what year was this?
2001.
So the internet
It existed, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now.
But you could have still. I mean, if they.
I don't even think they had a website.
No,
I don't think so.
GeoCities.
If that, they had a homestead page. But so I went to a show, and it was awful. It was atrocious. But then they had one guy who did a 450, which I was like, oh shit, that guy's the man, because I was always like a big high flying fan. Then I went to another show, and they had a TLC match, and that blew my 15-year-old mind. And
just because it was TLC, or because it was actually good?
Some of the shit they did was pretty good, actually. There was one guy, and his name was Kid Sinister, who he was actually really good. He did some stuff.
How can he not be with that name?
That's a sweet name, right? But yeah, and they did some cool stuff, and one guy pile drove another guy off the apron through a table. So it's like, this is 2001. They're doing some decent stuff in a shitty venue in Western Kentucky. And then finally, I saw they did training, and I got up the balls to go ask the guy if I could come train. And he was like, yeah, and he gave me a little speech and everything.
Did
My
you have
parents,
to pay?
Yeah.
A lot?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I think it was a down payment I had to pay for each training session. It was really cheap compared to everywhere else. But then my parents had to drive me because I didn't have a license. I was 15. December 8th, 2001 was my first training session.
Were they happy with having to drive you to the wrestling school?
I don't think so. They
Was it
did
far?
it. Nah, 20, 30 minutes, something like that.
And my parents had to drive me too.
Yeah.
It was like 40 minutes. They didn't care. They were actually pretty supportive. And they paid like $2,000 for my training.
Yeah, I didn't pay a dime for it. So, I
That's
didn't
good.
have a job till I got a job when I was 17.
So you started training with, let's see, Brandon Walker.
That's right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah.
At first I thought I was reading Braden Walker,
A lot of people
which
think
would have been
that.
even cooler.
Trained with Chris Harris.
So how was Brandon Walker?
He's great. He's actually really
Yeah?
good. Yeah, he used to work for like Harley Race and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he knew what he was doing. And then there was another guy who was like kind of the co-trainer. His name was John Caesar.
I thought you were gonna go with John Cena.
John Cena.
Again, would have been.
Yeah.
Imagine you're trained
John Cena and
by
Braden
Braden
Walker.
Walker and John Cena.
I like that Braden Walker's the head trainer. John
Right,
Cena's
he's
just
the
co-trainer.
assistant.
Yeah. I let Braden take care of this one.
He's taught me so much. Okay, so then how long did you train before you had your first match?
That was like 5 or 6 months or something like that, or 4 or 5 months. I think I was still 15, so like four months or so. But in Kentucky, they have it's regulated. They have an athletic commission,
Yeah.
so you have to be 18 to wrestle. So you can't legally wrestle in Kentucky. So that was like a off the books show.
Were your parents there for the nursing home show?
They were not. No, I think they both had to work. It was at a weird time. It was like Friday afternoon or something like that.
Did they? But did they like want to go see you wrestle, or did they? I don't know.
Yeah, no, they came and saw some of my stuff.
Did they think it was silly?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah,
My mom
totally.
gets real nervous like when I'm wrestling. Like she likes watching on tape, but like in person, she thinks I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Everything I do.
So she waits till you're watching it with her.
Yeah. My
Makes her
mom
feel better.
like Googles me. She'll call me and she'll be like, "Did you see what this person said about you?" And I'm like, "No, Mom, I did not." She's like, "I'm gonna text them." or
Hey,
something.
dude,
It's
that's
great.
fine though. My mom, I've been doing this for 14 years,
Mhm.
and my mom, still to this day, if like she'll call me after every show just to make sure I'm fine. And yeah, I'm fine. Did you win? No.
I think
why?
my mom-
Why not?
Yep.
Because I just didn't. But she understands. You know, she's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
clueless. She's been following me through this for a long time. Or what match were you on the card? I'm like,
Wow.
second. Why? How come you weren't last? I'm like, because you are a psycho,
My
mom.
mom gets upset when I'm not getting pushed.
Dude, she does. She does. She gets mad at me. Not at me. She gets mad for me.
She's mad at Delirious.
No, well, no,
Call
not,
her.
she has some issues with Jimmy again. Jim Cornette.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
got.
Your mom's got problems.
Yeah, she runs into Jim.
The whole,
boy,
the whole
boy.
Steen family.
Oh boy. So all right. So your second match, third match, not nursing homes, I assume.
No.
Did you start wrestling regularly after that?
No, then the first match happened, then it was like another 6 months. And I had another match in December of 2002 in West Tennessee, which is, just a garbage land.
I've never wrestled anywhere. Like I wrestled I didn't even wrestle in Kentucky. The only time I've been in Kentucky was in Louisville for Ring of Honor taping, or when I went to OVW to do like a training camp.
Mm.
But I've never wrestled in Tennessee or any. Like in those, I've never wrestled around those parts. But I hear I don't know. I hear that whole area is kind of crazy to wrestle.
Okay, man.
Like
Yeah.
people are kind of nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had 2 knives pulled on me.
What?
Yeah, in Nashville.
In a match or after the match?
After a match. This is what happened. So we're wrestling, we're yelling at people. It's me and this other dude, my tag team partner at the time. And he goes up and he says something to this guy, and this old crazy guy's name's Chicken Hat Charles, they call him.
You know his name.
Because he's like...
Because he's
like a
the guy who
famous
pulls the
figure.
knife
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So he pulls a knife on us, and my partner tries to grab the security guard who was working and tries to pull him in front of us.
So that he gets stabbed.
Well, so that he's mad at us. He's not going to start stabbing people, hopefully. So he pulls the guy in front of him, and he's like, "Do your job." And the guy the security guard shoves my friend. So my friend spits
Your
in his
friend?
face.
Wait, he shoves your partner?
Yeah.
Not
Trying
the
to pull
guy
him
who
in
has
front.
the
No.
knife?
Yeah. Security guard, he tries to pull him in, shoves him, spits in his face. Swear to God, the security guard pulls a knife on us. So there are 2 guys holding knives on it. I'm not even kidding.
So that was the 2 knives pulled on you. It was
Yeah.
one incident.
One incident.
That's
and then
pretty
another
impressive.
guy threatened to kill me and the colonel one time.
Was he? But like he was
I call
serious,
it-
or he was just a guy trying to?
No, he was dead serious. I called his wife a whore. This is like a 50-year-old man, and this woman said something to me. I said, "Shut up, you old whore." and her husband stands up. Like we're in the middle of a match, beating up this guy, and her husband stands up and goes, "Just call my wife a whore." And I said, "No, sir, you're mistaken," and put the guy in a chin lock or something. And
You're in the ring.
Yeah. And then after the match, he said, and I'm going to quote here, because the colonel was outside and he is in a wheelchair.
Okay.
He said, what did he say? "I'm going to kill that long-haired faggot and his crippled friend." That's what he said.
To the crowd in general?
Yeah, he announced it.
How many people were at the show?
I mean, like 40 or something.
So everybody heard him.
Oh, yeah.
Did he wait for you guys after?
He waited for us in the parking lot after the show.
What happened? I need to
He
know.
finally left. I went and I have a baseball bat in my trunk, always. I have a lot of weird shit in my trunk, but I went and got a baseball bat just in case. And he had gone by the time we came out.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I've never been threatened like that. The only time was I kicked a dude in the face when he tried to get in the ring in Montreal. And he was really happy to get in the ring, too. What happened is I invited his friend to come in the ring because his friend was being a smartass. And his buddy instead slid underneath the bottom rope, but I didn't see that. He had a huge smile on his face, and he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go in the ring." I thought he was coming in with bad intentions, so I booted him in the face, almost knocked him out. I broke his glasses, and then he got thrown out of the building. And his friends eventually followed. And then next thing I knew, after the show, they're like, "Hey, those guys are waiting for you." And there's 4 of them. I'm like, "Oh boy!" So I went to get Frankie the Mobster, and he went to see them. I've told the story before, and he went up to them and he went, "You've met Frankie, right?"
Yeah.
He went up to them, he's like, "Can I help you?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're waiting for Steen." And he goes, "No, you're waiting for me." So they got in their car and left, and then I walked out proudly to my own car, fearless.
I think I've seen that happen before. I think it was the Chris brothers, those Irish Airborne fellas. I think they called somebody in the ring, and I think it was like the guy was excited. He wasn't like trying to fight him. He was like, "Oh, cool, I get to get in the ring." And he went to slide in, and he just kicked him so hard in the face.
See, I didn't find that out until 2 months later. I was at another show, and the guy who filmed for IWS was filming the same show. He's like, "Hey, did you ever see you booting that dude in the face?" I'm like, "No, you haven't?" He's like, "Yeah, you want to see it?" "Yeah." So we're all around the fucking computer, we're watching it. And it's filmed like the hard cam is facing those guys.
Yeah.
So I'm like opening the rope for the dude. The guy stands up and he looks at me and he's like kind of shit talking me. And as he's doing that, I'm looking at him and his buddy just slides underneath the rope. The biggest like childlike smile. Like he's so happy. Like, "I'll go in the ring. This sounds like a great." He had a hat too that flew, and it wasn't like I just fucking soccer kicked his fucking face off. And then Max Boye, you may remember him from the Chikara Lions. I was wrestling him. He grabs him in a front like chin lock and starts like choking him for real, and then just tosses him out of the ring like a piece of shit. And then I kicked his glasses and broke them. Good night for IWS fans. And then he got kicked out. And
Shitty night.
I think it may have been the last time we ran that venue, which is probably good because I think if I won back, they probably would have had weapons, maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
I kicked a few fans in the face accidentally.
How so?
We did one I was on a show with Eric Cannon that he promoted in Minneapolis. There was like burlesque and a punk rock band and a wrestling show. And have you ever seen the deal where like say I'm charging the corner and the guy like kicks you in the back of the leg and you go crotch first in the ropes?
Of course.
I went to do that. And
how close were the fans?
They were all like on.
So you put it on the face.
There was this pretty cute girl standing by the ring post, and the dude kicks me, and I go flying crotch first, and drop kick this girl in the face so hard, like literally. I'd say the hardest I've ever kicked a human being, like in the ring, anything. Like I've never kicked a person this hard. So I did the drop kick, and I'm sitting there crotch, and I'm just laughing. I have to cover my face because I'm giggling like a schoolgirl. And then I just kicked this girl in the face, and she had a Pabst in her hand because they sponsored the event. And she falls down, spills her beer, and she's all like, "Oh my God." And I'm just giggling right here. And then I think somebody like drop kicked me in the back or something like that. I'm not selling it. I'm just laughing. Then I roll out of the ring, and I roll over, and I was a bad guy on the show, so I'm laying on the stage laughing, and the guys. One of the fans is like, trying to give me shit. He's like, "Oh, fuck you, Chuck Taylor." And I just roll over to him and I go, "Did you see me kick that bitch in the face?" And he goes, "What?" And I go, "Ah!" And then I just start giggling again.
So you don't know what happened to her, though?
No.
You didn't check on her?
No.
That's great. I like the lack of remorse.
She should have been that close.
One time, again involving Frankie, but this time it was completely his fault. I never hit a fan. Well, that's not true. I've hit fans, but I've never hit, I didn't mean to hit that one. It was me and Samoa Joe against Frankie and another local dude in Montreal on the show. And Frankie, we're fighting outside. Frankie whips me towards the guardrail and tells me to reverse him. Mm-hmm. So I do the silly little, okay, I'm going to switch now. And he starts running towards the rail. And here's the thing. I reversed him a good 10 feet away from the guardrail. And he just ran. He had time. He could have stopped like 4 times. He's just felt like he ran for a full 10 seconds.
Like No Mercy when you whip the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And they just keep fucking running until they hit something. He runs, and then he just fucking hits the guardrail and takes, like how Mick Foley used to take the stairs? Hits the guardrail face first and flips over. People go ape shit. I go back over to bring him over, and as I'm pulling him over, this dude is furious with me. He's like, my girlfriend's pregnant! My girlfriend's pregnant! And she's sitting right there, like, holding her stomach, and, like, he's like, you piece of shit! And he's, like, fucking trying to kill me. And so I bring Frankie back in. We get back in the ring. I tag Joe in. Joe's doing shit with Frankie. I'm waiting on the corner, and the guy's over here. And I look, and he's fucking glaring. He wants to kill me. Yeah. And I'm like, and his fucking girlfriend's like almost crying, like she got so scared. Finally, I'm like, it wasn't my fucking fault, but I felt bad. Mm-hmm. First of all, he's a fucking asshole who sat in the front row with, must have been like 7 months pregnant. She was out there, like, anyway, so I'm like, hey, fuck this. I don't give a shit about kayfabe or anything. I call the security guard over, he's like, what? I'm like, tell that fucking dude that it wasn't my fault. Frankie's the one who ran in the guardrail. And so the security guard goes over and tells him, and then I swear, the guy's looking at me, and the security guard tells him something, and the guy turns and goes, then gives me a thumbs up, and that was it. His girlfriend's still fucking like, and he's back into the match. Joe, immediately, because now he was happy Frankie was getting beat up. It was fantastic.
Did you ever see the PWG show, speaking of killing fans, where, I'm sure you were on, it was me versus Johnny Goodtime. And he did a back roll out of the ring and caught me with a head scissor, and there's, how close they are in the Precita. And I Jushin Liger capo kicked this guy. Like, took him out. Like, Liger never threw in this. You know that front flip kick he does? Yes. Like, he never threw in this good. Give me the head scissor. I just kicked this guy. Like,
do you remember what show that was on?
Oh.
I don't think I saw
figured
that.
It's me and Johnny Goodtime's on.
I'm gonna
seriously wipe this dude out. He took like a neck bump. He like rolled with it. It was crazy. And again, when I hurt fans, I just laugh. So I'm not selling anything. I'm just laying on the floor giggling, trying to cover my face.
Well, I mean, how can you not? It's pretty hilarious. Most times they laugh too, though. Yeah. Unless they get seriously injured.
He was fine, I think.
Tommaso took out a chick pretty good at PWG last time. Did you hear about this?
No.
During his entrance, a girl's walking by. She doesn't, I don't know, I think she was new. She didn't realize that when there's music playing, you probably shouldn't walk past the curtain to go to the bar. So as she's walking by, Tommaso just, he's all wild. He comes out of the curtain and just fucking, she ends up in his arms. And his first reaction is just to fucking slam her down. And me and Excalibur on commentary, but the music's playing, so we know that whatever we say is not going to make it. Oh my God, he just hit a fan. Just see, slammed it. And then she stands up and we realize it's a girl because she had really short hair. We thought it was a dude. She stands up like, it's a woman! And we couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. And then she stands up and the fans, I guess, were a little concerned for her. She stands up, she gives a thumbs up, but she's clearly shaken up. She could barely stand. But she was all right. Tommaso went to take a picture with her at intermission, and I wiped it all away.
That's the best part. I think they should just release a DVD of
wrestlers.
PWG, well, that and PWG commentary before and after when it's not on tape. Those are the best.
Oh man!
If only they knew what.
Oh boy!
Excalibur was saying.
So much shit talk about people that would hate us.
I legitimately, I I get nervous sometimes when I do PWG commentary and I'll see those guys again, like that they're gonna be pissed off at me. Like I'll say things on commentary and I'm afraid I'm gonna see them and be like, hey, what the fuck, man?
I'll be honest. I'm amazed B-Boy hasn't gotten mad at me.
So I'm amazed AR Fox hasn't tried to fight me. I just assume he hasn't seen PWG shows yet.
When you say he's too stupid.
Too stupid to feel pain.
My favorite is, I think it was on his first show. He does the leg drop to the apron, and I think it was you and Excalibur. Yeah, and you just burst out. Both of you just bust out laughing. No, there's no commentary. You're just laughter because he just jumps off the top rope onto his own ass on the fucking apron. There's no, and
I called Ricochet a gay lizard on commentary one time. And I was nervous, like, hey, we're cool. All right, you haven't seen the
Ricochet?
show?
Come on. You guys have gone...
Oh, yeah, no, I said worse about him.
I've said the worst shit about Generico on commentary. I'm never worried what he's going to think. All right, so we've covered fan attacks. Let's go back to the early part of your career. Dying.
Brilliant segue.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You did these shows, nursing homes and all over, and getting knives pulled on you.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start getting recognized a little more for your work, and when did you start getting bookings that you felt were actually leading somewhere?
Probably around, started and did all the shitty local shows, and then...
Was there any local shows that were worth, no, it was all shit. Because, we had IWS, which was, people kind of paid attention to and was good. You didn't have any of those.
We had, the place I started training at, there was another company, companies being a loose term, there was a backyard group called Chaos Pro Wrestling in Southern Illinois. And they would come and train, and then they had a ring, they just didn't have a building, so they had a new Highspots ring, actually, in a backyard that I paid a lot of money on. I actually owned part of a Highspots ring somewhere in Southern Illinois. But they had the ring set up, and all these guys, they were talented guys. They were high flyers, and they were doing deathmatch shit. They were all influenced by IWA and CZW, all that. And so they were running, way better shows than anyone else, just in a backyard. And so I started. I would go down and I would work with them a bit. I would do shows for them, which is weird that I never did backyard wrestling until after I was trained. And then finally, they got their own building in Brookport, Illinois, which just got wiped away by a tornado.
It's really? The building or the city?
The city.
It just says that right now. As you said, Brookport, Illinois. I was staring straight at it. It says that's where you began an awkward relationship with Ricochet.
Sounds like we used to bang each other.
Yeah, kind of, and then it got real weird.
Yeah.
You guys banged on the first night, and then you didn't call him, but he was upset. He was mad about something you said on commentary.
He's like, I know you're gonna call me a gay lizard in 9 years.
Yeah,
but they had weird.
Sorry.
They had a lot of stuff on the internet, and I would make videos and all that. We had hype videos, and that led to a few other things.
That's where the degree came in handy.
Hey, I was still in college at that point. I didn't have a degree.
So, it says I guess you met Ricochet through that company?
Yeah, I trained Ricochet.
You did?
Yeah. In a backyard, for the most part.
I remember the first time I met Ricochet, he was tiny.
Mm-hmm.
He was maybe 4 foot tall.
I don't think
and
short.
His hair was out of control.
What did he have at that point? Was it the fro or the shitty Lionel Richie haircut that he had?
Lionel Rich? No, it was just all over the place. He looked like a wild jungle kid.
Kinda, yeah.
So you started training him, and did you you were literally his trainer? He took his first bump with you.
He came around the backyard group when we were still in the backyard, and he would hang around. Every now and then he'd get in the ring and bump around and stuff. But then when he decided he wanted to train, it was me, and he kind of trained with Brandon a little bit. I think he credits me and Brandon for being his trainers, but he only went with Brandon a few times. So.
I assume that he was right away
Oh, he picked up everything instantly, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had abs when he was 13. I swear to God, he had that 8-pack when he was 13. He was a little shitty dude with little glasses, a little nerdy kid, and still had abs.
From what I remember of him back then, first time I met him, it's pretty amazing what he's evolved into. Yeah. I remember the nerdy look he had, and I remember when I was in Dragon Gate in 2006, they kept asking me about Ricochet. And I kept saying, because all I remembered was the Ricochet with the afro and the baggy pants with the orange and blue.
Those are mine.
I was like, no. Look at Pac instead, and then I helped out Pac with them, but then Ricochet ended up getting there. I told Ricochet this in the past. I probably delayed his Dragon Gate debut by 2 years just because I was like, oh, Ricochet is okay, but very green. Look at Pac, and then Pac, holy shit, and then
I watched when we were in England. Adam Cole and I were over there together, and we're watching. We had this 4-way from Dragon Gate USA.
You guys did a Vine while you were over there, weren't you? I heard about it.
I'm not gonna touch that one. But that's 4-way. It was me, Eric Cannon, Ricochet, and Adam Cole. And we watched it, and every time, apparently Shima was standing beside the commentary booth. You know, up there at the arena, like it's up there. Cause
what company was this for?
Dragon USA.
Okay.
This was our first show, and you can just hear every time Ricochet does a flip, you can just hear Shima just jerk off,
wait,
Ricochet will do something, and you hear him go, oh.
Okay.
And then and then you can't hear his face.
Yes.
That would be awkward, especially for the commentary.
Ricochet does flip. Yeah, whatever noise that made.
But then he does the double moonsault.
That was too accurate. That was not.
You just hear him come all in his face when Ricochet does that double moonsault.
Yeah, well, Sima was the one asking me about him constantly, and on 3 separate occasions, I had to shoot him down like, no, Pac, okay?
Really?
Until I finally showed him a fucking video myself of Pac. That worked out.
Really fucked Ricochet here.
It's all right. He did pretty good.
Phone call.
You gonna please answer?
No, I'll turn it off.
No, you can answer. Who is it?
I don't know.
Cole
473. I don't know what that is.
Adam Cole's gonna text me when he gets here, so I gotta keep an eye on this anyway. All right, so besides that promotion or whatever you want to call it, there was nothing too worthwhile in your neck of the woods.
No,
so then, when did you decide you had to start traveling to?
Well, CPW led us to. I met another guy, and we went to Coliseum Championship Wrestling in Evansville, Indiana. They would run every Wednesday.
Why do they call themselves?
It's in a Coliseum.
Oh,
the building is like it's It's been around for like 90 years.
Okay,
like,
I was gonna say if they're not running a building,
it was part of the I guess the Memphis Loop, like Lawler and all that.
Oh, okay.
It used to be a huge building. Now, like there's like 13 people in this awesome building. But that led to that, and met Drake Younger there, and Die Hard Dustin Lee, and Brandon Prophet, and they helped us get booked. And it was me and Ricochet at this point, because we were married for 10 years.
Well, that's
awkward relationship.
Awkward relationship.
Yeah. But that led us to IPW in Indianapolis, Insanity Pro Wrestling, and then that helped us get booked in IWA Deep South, which Mike Burns was helping book, and Burns showed Ian our stuff, or told him to book us, Ian Rotten. So then we got booked for IWA Mid South in I think February of, it was St. Patty's Day of 2006.
Tell me about Insanity Pro Wrestling. Was it insane?
Yeah.
What was insane about it?
It was just, they did all right for themselves. Kind of like, kind of reminds me of like AIW and AAW. Is like one of those like just below the other ones. You know what I mean? Like it helped a lot of guys get noticed. I think.
Are they still around?
I think they folded actually.
So then you started IW Deep South, which led to Mid South, and that's where you started getting a name.
I think so.
Because were you wrestling Ricochet all the time still?
Yeah, it was a part of that awkward relationship. We would tag up and then we'd wrestle each other a lot.
I remember that because I was doing shows for Ian now and then, and I remember you guys teaming one night and then wrestling the other and stuff like that. So how many matches do you think you had with Ricochet?
I had a count at one point back, and this was like in 2007 or something like that. It was between us tagging and us wrestling, it was over 60. And that was back then, so.
I'm surprised. Actually, I expected a way higher number.
It's probably, I don't know, 150, 200.
What's the craziest thing you guys did in a ring together? Or what's the dumbest thing you gave him because he didn't object to anything? Or?
We tried to do, one of our matches in CPW, we tried to do, did you ever see Super Dragon and M-Dog did the cartwheel into the Sasuke special into the Rana?
Yeah.
Well, I thought we could do that. Ricochet weighed
You thought?
Yeah. Well, he weighed like 19 pounds, and I didn't even work out then or anything, so I don't know why I thought I could do it. But we tried it once, and he hit me weird, and it was just a dive. The second time we tried it,
Immediately after, I hope.
yeah, the next show.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, I was like, get back in there.
I thought that's what you. Yeah.
No.
Oh.
The next match, he did it, and he came down, and I misjudged him, and basically his ass hit me in the face, and it knocked this tooth out.
Oh, shit.
This tooth shake.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's an implant.
It's porcelain,
Oh shit.
And
so his ass knocked the tooth right out of your mouth.
basically, yeah.
That's awkward relationship all over.
Yeah, it is. But
So no Rana.
No. It just hit me in the face, and I fell down, and I was like, what is this? And we were done. That was our opening spot. Shut up. That was the first thing we did. And then we went like 20 minutes afterwards.
You kept going,
yeah,
wouldn't you?
yeah. Oh, of course, bro. I'm a pro. And then the root was exposed.
Oh my god.
And so every time I
hear that's
breathed,
awful.
it was like a power drill in my face. And that was a Saturday night. And, no dentists are open. So
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't even get in Monday. So I think I had to wait till Tuesday. And every time I would take a breath, it was like
Yeah, it sounds.
I had to get a root canal and
all because of Ricochet's ass.
Ricochet's ass.
He deserved that gay lizard reference 9 years later.
I want him to get gay lizard T-shirts. I'm gonna put
What
them
is
on
it? Is
my
it
pro wrestling
lizards?
tees. I
Is
don't know
it
what it
lizards
is.
having sex?
I don't know what it is. I want to figure it out.
You can't even tell.
It's just a real sassy lizard. He's like, come on, guys. I'm really
That's what
offending
it
the
is.
gay community.
There's a
friends.
bubble going from the lizard's mouth. Come on, guys. And the lizard has to be trying to send a tweet to The Rock to get an answer on the shirt as well. Come on,
He's never
Rock.
answered him, has he?
No, I don't think so.
What a bitch.
It's driving him crazy.
I bet.
too. All right. So IWA Mid-South, you won the championship, didn't you?
I did.
I think, like, didn't Ian kind of give the belt to dudes that, like, it was always kind of a surprise.
Yeah, you like the shock thing. He
Were
went
you
to
the
Darren
first
Corbin
one?
time.
Were you the first one to win it in that shock kind
No,
of thing?
Darren Corbin had won it
Was it?
before. Yeah, and I think someone else weird had it.
I remember Jimmy had it at one point, Jimmy Jacobs, and I thought that was a little weird, but like I thought it was cool. And then I remember hearing you had won it, and I was like, oh, it's all guys that were still, you know what I mean? Like you weren't huge names yet, but
Yeah.
you were the champion and you were the top guy in their company. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool of Ian's, but you weren't. I thought you were the first one, kind of.
No, he kind of hot-shotted it around for a minute of like weirdo dudes.
How
And then,
long were you champion for?
I believe it was 364 days. It was 1 day short of a year.
Look at that.
I won it at TPI and lost it the next year at TPI.
Did you? I don't know. What do you have anything from that run that you remember?
It was great. I mean, for me, like, because he put me in, I can, a lot of people say bad things about Ian, but like, he put me in there with a ton of great dudes. Like,
Yeah.
I worked low key 3 times. Like, worked,
Wait. Let's talk about that right now.
All right.
How was that?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Back then, I think he liked me. Cause like, I remember his, I think I told this before, but like, his first match in IWA was against Tyler Black, Rollins, that's his name?
There's a child.
He just got murdered.
I don't know if you guys picked it up. There's a child staring at us through the
black
window.
girl.
I will rip your heart out.
Oh.
Get away from me. Get away. They won't leave.
They will not.
They're not impressed at
I don't know.
all.
Let's talk about Loki. I bet they know a thing or two.
I bet if one of us starts getting undressed, they're immediately going to leave. I'm just going to stare her down. She
I think
looked
if one of
away.
us starts getting undressed,
one of
the
them
cops
left.
are gonna come.
One of them left. That is a good point.
You
think
stare at him.
there's a
I'll
girl-
tell my Loki story.
I think there's a yeah. Go nuts. I'll just keep staring.
All right. But his first match was against Seth Rollins, and he came to the back and he just told her everything he did wrong and blah blah blah. And this isn't me putting myself over. This is just the way it worked. Like everyone he worked, he would come back and just berate them and like, you did this, blah blah blah. And he came back from our first match and he was just like, yeah, you did this, but he was like nice about it.
Okay.
I think he like kind of liked me.
So he wasn't.
He wasn't a dick to me at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly
No, I
what
think
I
he's
was
a super dick. But then when he came back, he was a super dick for no reason.
So wait, you had 3 matches with him
Yeah.
where he was nice.
Yeah.
Then he came back
I
years.
beat him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
crap!
this is our finish was I threw hydrogen peroxide in his eyes and he was all blinded, and then I chloroformed him.
That's why. That's
Oh,
it.
yeah, but still.
He wouldn't. I've seen this man say no to putting Claudio Castagnoli over. A horse, a human horse. He wouldn't lose to him, but he did. He finally
That
did.
goddamn centaur.
I'll lose by DQ.
Yeah.
That's what
I
he
don't
said.
understand him because he's so good. I think, and you can't say like
No,
in the
of
ring
course
he's
not. Yes.
one of the best ever. Right?
He's flawless.
With his style. I think he's an amazing competitor. It's just such a...
I think I know he doesn't respect me. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't think he respects anybody except...
himself.
Well, no. Like, he respects... Like, I'm sure he respects guys like, I don't know, Chris Daniels and
Navy.
And I don't think he respects Navy. I don't think he respects anybody who he didn't, I don't know. He doesn't respect guys that he doesn't view as veterans, I would say, which includes 98% of the guys he had to wrestle on the Indies.
I would love for someone to sit down and just ask, okay, so you're booking the show, low-key.
Oh, boy.
What happens? I would love to hear, like, okay, obviously I never lose, I become the champion. What happens after that? You're just the champion forever and then you retire with the belt? I would love to hear, like, how it works to him. That's really interesting to me.
I would love to see who he would book. I don't think he would.
It'd just be him. It'd just be him.
No,
doing
but
a martial arts
because like I said, I'm
with
sure
the
there's
title
some
belt.
guys that he likes, but I think he'd wrestle at least 3 times on the show. He'd have to under different maybe characters.
Maybe.
And yeah, I don't know.
I'm really curious as to what he thinks wrestling should be.
Maybe we should try to have him on
Get him on.
Kevin Steen show.
Get him on.
I have a feeling he'd say no. He'd say no. Anyway, so he was a super dick when he came back. Though.
Yeah, he was nice before, but he was kind of a dick when he came back. He was a dick to everyone. He told... I remember. There was an Evolve show where he wrestled Jigsaw. And he told... I think
I've heard this, but yes, please.
I don't even know if I should say this.
Come on. He's retired.
Gabe wanted him to go like 15 minutes. And he told Jigsaw, he's like, well, I'm a world-class striker. And I don't believe that you and I should go longer than 7 minutes. That's a real thing that happened. And Jigsaw's good.
Yes, he is. And he's a great guy, too.
Yeah, sweetheart.
I'll give that to Loki. He does not discriminate. He doesn't give a shit if you're a nice guy or an asshole. He will treat you like the same. No. So, all right. So you worked with Loki. Who else did you get to wrestle during that run?
Too Cold Scorpio.
Oh, how's that?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's great.
Mick Foley claims he has a huge dong.
I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, he's an IWA Mid-South Lugger. He doesn't. It's not like he's hiding it. He's just fucking letting it go. It is giant. It's crazy. It's like that. It's like that. It's like that shotgun mic there. Maybe thicker.
It's I hope. Well, I don't hope. Why the fuck would I hope? Oh boy. Who else? Let's move on from this.
I worked one of the Basham dudes from WWF.
Doug?
I don't remember.
Or
Danny, I think.
Danny?
The Damaja.
Oh, okay.
He's a super nice guy. Worked Claudio a few times, Quackenbush.
So basically, when
Everybody that ever worked for that.
So when Ian gave the guy a belt, he would really give him good chances. That's good. Yeah, like you said, I've heard a lot of people talk shit about Ian, but other people have even said that. Like Drake would say the same thing about Ian. He gave him a lot of big matches and big chances. So that's cool. And then how instrumental was IWA Mid-South in getting you other places?
It's completely instrumental. It's the only reason I ever went anywhere.
So
I think they have this like I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
Yeah,
and I think
you're an Ian Rotten
when
guy.
Generico got signed, he said he was a Gabe Sapolsky. I'm an Ian Rotten guy.
Yeah, I rolled my eyes at that, by the way.
I'm sure.
Generico posted that one.
I'm sure.
But still, nothing against Gabe. I just thought it was kind of silly.
PCP crazy manny guy. Was that the guy?
Yeah.
I don't
I don't know who. I guess I'm a Super Dragon guy, really. He's really the one who really.
You guys have an awkward relationship too, huh?
No.
You guys bang each other?
No. I mean, little foreplay. I'm a Terry Steen guy, really. He's my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, So, then where'd you go after IWA Mid-South? CZW?
Yeah. Well, no, Chikara first.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have a bunch of fan questions. You know, there's a lot about Chikara. We'll get to that later, but okay, keep going. Chikara.
Chikara, me and Ricochet did a Young Lions Cup, and then we eventually got invited back. And I think Chikara led us to CZW. We did Cage of Death one year. And then, let me go after that.
You did Cage of Death, the show, not the match.
No, not the match.
You wrestled each other, I assume?
I think we might have been on the same team. Beef was in it. It was like some big 8-man cluster.
What year was this?
2006.
That's
Player
insane.
Uno was in it. Boye was in it. A lot of Canadian dudes, me and
Yeah.
Ricochet, some other turds.
And how long? Well, I mean, you wrestled for Chikara for years.
Yeah.
From,
Since 2006.
until
Until it closed, yeah. Until it
and,
exploded.
I don't know anything that happened
I
there.
don't either.
But how? I don't know. But well, let's go to CZW first, just because Chikara was probably a bigger part of your career than CZW. Are you still in CZW?
Yeah, I just kind of started back.
How long were you there for the first run?
I did a show, and then it was a while, and then I came back and won the junior title. And then when I separated my shoulder, they didn't. I don't think ever once did they were like, "Hey, can you do the next show?" They just like assumed, I guess.
That
So
you
I
couldn't?
didn't. That I could.
Or that you could?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was the junior champ, and they didn't ask me like, "Hey, are you good for the show?" They just bought my flight, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
I told them, I was like, "Hey, I have to go to the hospital. I have a doctor's appointment. My shoulders, I can't move my arm." And they're like, "Well, we already bought your flight, blah blah blah." And they got all upset about it, and then I had to
Who's?
I don't remember.
Was Zandig running it at the
He
time?
was, but I don't think he could pick me out of a lineup. I never had any dealings with him.
So was it that
I think it was
woman?
DJ,
Was
actually.
it a oh, okay.
But I think the woman was booking the flights.
Sabine or
Yeah,
whatever?
I think so.
She was terrible. Oh my
Always
god,
annoying.
she was so rude to me.
Yeah.
She hated all the Canadians for no reason. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Fuck, was
Xenophobia.
she rude. Anyway, so, alright.
I had to mail back the junior title. They sent a courier to my house.
You didn't have to pay for it.
No.
You just put the belt in the box.
The guy showed up and I had to mark all the things like on the
The
I
receipt
sucked with,
thing.
like express shipping. I an overnight air. It probably cost like $200. Like everything I could do to fuck them. I was like, yep. It was so much just in the back.
It would have been amazing if it was a sweater. Mail back a
I didn't
sweater
mail back the
instead.
belt. Yeah. But, yeah.
So then that was your end of your first run?
Yeah.
How long was the run itself?
Like 6 months, and I don't
Oh,
think
that's it?
I won. No, maybe more. I don't remember exactly how long, but I won the junior title, and then I did not win another match.
But you weren't in. That they did that. I won the Ironman championship in like 2006, and I had it for a year. I defended it 4 times. Most of the times I was in tag matches or non-title matches.
I just lost in non-title matches to Pinky Sanchez like 13 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
You weren't local back then, though.
No, they had to fly me in.
Because you were still living
Kentucky,
in
yeah, still in
Kentucky?
Murray. Still in
Okay.
college.
And so then you stopped because of your shoulder. Did you have to take a long time off, or?
I think I wrestled like 2 weeks later, but I shouldn't have. Definitely, I know it's just like.
2 weeks after mailing them back the belt.
Yeah.
So you technically probably could have.
I worked bullshit indies. Like I didn't work anything
So,
good.
were
But, like
they
I
just-
could, if I would have gone out there and tried to have a CZW match, and I'm like, yeah, go for it. Then I would have been getting booed out of the building.
Were they just mad because they bought your flight and that's when you told them you couldn't go?
I guess.
So
But they
that's
didn't
why
ask
they
me
asked
if
you to
they-
mail back the belt?
Yeah, and
They
didn't
could
ask
just
me
wait
if
a month?
CZW, man. Shit was crazy back then. They've gotten it together lately, but
Tell me about that time, because I was in CZW for a little bit in 2005, and then a little bit in 2006, and then I bid that place adieu. I got the fuck out of there because I remember I was dealing with Zandig all the time,
Yeah.
and he kept shit talking the Canadians on a monthly basis on the mic. We weren't there. No Canadians were at the show one time, and I'm reading CZW fans. Zandig calls the Canadians pieces of shit. We're all home. Why? Says they no-showed. You didn't book us. What the fuck are you talking about? The next month we show up, we're wrestling. Later on, we're just walking around in the back. Zandig's doing a promo from the fucking, those fucking Canadians. We're right here. What do we do? Anyway, so we're constantly dealing with him. And just through him talking shit for no reason, the Canadians versus CZW became like a little feud. So my last show there, I was scheduled to, I was the Ironman champion, and it was supposed to be me, Generico, and Frankie the Mobster against the Hate Club, which was going to be Zandig, Nick Gage, and Nate Hatred,
that sounds awful.
against Blackout, which was Ruckus, Sabian, who I hear doesn't want to be called Sabian anymore. He wants to call it Black G's? Use Sabian. And Eddie Kingston in a cage match.
Okay.
So it's 3 versus 3 versus 3 in a cage match. Elimination. And then in the afternoon, Zandig decides that he's not going to be in the match because he has to take his son to the hospital. We're like, why do you have to take him to the hospital? Because DJ is going to put him through a barbed wire board. So why would I be there? I'm obviously going to take him to the hospital. That was his logic. He ended up having to take his son to the hospital for real because his son got injured for real. Anyway, so he decides he takes himself out of the match. So we're like, well, now what is it? It's 2 versus... And then I advise him, like, hey, by the way, I have to lose this belt today. They're like, why? Because I'm going to Dragon Gate for 2 months. They're like, oh, you can't do that. You're the champion. I'm like, well, I'm doing it, so I can either be the champion and you wait till I come back, or you take the belt off. And Zandig was pissed, like, all right, fuck it. Generico, you're winning the belt tonight. He was on my team in the cage match. Generico goes, oh, no, I can't. Just because he didn't want it. He didn't want to have a commitment. So he's like, so at this point, we know Zandig's not in the match. We know that I need to take the belt. The belt needs to be taken off of me. Yeah. And Zandig decides that to replace him in Hate Club, Eddie Kingston, who's in Blackout, will get jumped by Blackout earlier in the night, and then will join Hate Club that same night to get revenge on Blackout, who will have a third member in their manager, Robbie Marino. Yeah. So it's back to 3 versus 3 versus 3. And then I'm like, and it was just, I remember the conversation where all of us talking about the match, and we're just, oh my God. And I go, what if Lufisto was wrestling in CZW at the time, and she was pretty over. Yeah. And I was the Iron Man Championship. So I'm like, how can I make this as just ridiculous as possible? But what if Lufisto beats me for the belt, John? It's fucking genius. And I'm like, holy shit, he's going for it. And I knew it would make Lufisto happy, so I'm like, fuck it. He's like, how are we going to do it? So we came up with, she's going to join our team, because she's from Canada. Sure. So it would be 4 versus 3 versus 3 for no reason. And in the match, I would not want her to join our team, but she would join regardless. And then in the match at some point, I would pie face her, and she would kick me in the balls and roll me up, eliminate her home partner, and win the Iron Man title.
Oh my God.
And that's what happened. The first 3 minutes of that match, I'm walking around drinking water. Somebody left a jug of water under the ring. So the bell rings, and like the cage isn't set on the ring, it's around the ringside area. Yeah. Everybody is just fucking chaos everywhere, and people that don't want to be wrestling doing shit. So I'm like, fuck it.
Running away from
I was trying to get through the whole match just by drinking water, but Kingston ruined it. He ended up forearming me, and when I went to hit him back, I reared back and hit my funny bone on a ring apron, and it ruined my night. Fucking the worst. And I just wanted to drink water. But that was CZW for you, so I left then. 2006 is when I left. You weren't. I don't think you were there yet.
But tell me about the Cage of Death in 2006.
Okay, so yeah.
How I won the junior title was they did when they were shooting The Wrestler, when they were there.
Yes.
They had
I was there for that because I came back for that one show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did like that 10-man ladder match or whatever that we didn't know was a ladder match until like 5 minutes before you go out. So clusterfuck.
Was that the one where people were diving off the corner boxes? Yeah, I saw that match. Yeah, you were in that?
Yeah. Oh, I was in The Wrestler because of that.
Oh, okay.
I got an axe handle off of it.
Really?
Yeah. So we do that whole stupid match. The end is supposed to come down. That Spiral dude is supposed to grab the contract and win because it's like a Money in the Bank thing. He goes up to grab it. He puts his hand on it and falls off, but doesn't come down with a contract. So I'm climbing him. What the fuck? So I go to grab it, and it's like butter just falls into my hands. Like, I don't know how he didn't grab this. It just falls in my hands, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? So he grabs it. Zandig apparently was watching this. He comes out. He goes, fuck that shit, rips it from his hand and puts it in mine. So now I have this thing.
I can't remember that.
It was so ridiculous. So then come best of the best. I win my first round match. Second round, it's me versus Lufisto. And up until the end, she's supposed to win. She's going to the finals against Sabian until like 5 minutes before our match starts. And they're like, I don't know, maybe we do Chuck Taylor wins. And we're like, all right. So I feel like my music's playing, and they're like, oh no, you win. So I win. If I can go to the finals.
How was your match with her?
It was all right.
How did you like wrestling her?
I mean,
she thinks it's real.
Yeah, she beat me up.
Are you aware? One line from I'm from Montreal, and I like her, and I think she holds me in some sort of regard for some reason.
That you're about to ruin?
No, but I've told her this before. I think she takes herself too seriously. One quote from Larry Sweeney. He wrestled her once,
Yeah.
and as they were talking about the match, she's calling it, it's like, okay, so I'll give you the forearm and then fall on your ass in the corner, and then I'll give you my boot right in the face. So Sweeney's like, okay. And he's a little concerned that she's going to rip his head off, so he goes, you know it's fake, right? To which she retorts, not in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess Sweeney said, I think I remember Sweeney saying she did kick his fucking nose off, though. She did it for Japan, though.
Well.
So the match was
I
Was
win.
she upset that she had to lose?
I don't know, probably. We had a match, and then me and Sabian have a match, and I swear to God, we're about to go out, and somebody remembers, oh, Chuck Taylor has that contract. So Sabian beats me, wins best of the best. I go to shake his hand, nut shot, finish, 1, 2. For some reason, fast count after a nut shot and my finishing move. And they turned Derek Sabato heel ref. Of course, I don't know what the fuck was going on. And literally, like, the show ends with me with the title belt after cashing in, their shitty Money in the Bank. This all happened, like, I had not told them I could make another show. I had not told them that I can be here next month, I can be in 6 months. They're just like, oh, no, maybe Chuck Taylor wins the belt. I had the belt, and they're like, oh, can you do the next show? I'm like, what is happening here? This is so poorly run.
It is. It was really...
It's gotten better, it's gotten better.
Back then, towards the end in 2006, it was so poorly run that I'd begun just talking shit on them in their own promos. Like, I would find the most rundown place and then do a promo from there and just shit talk. I'm like, I don't remember. I would say, like, this belt is shit. I'm just fucking, and they would put it on every month. It would end up on CZW Wired. Or, no, what was their name of the TV? Their internet thing? Wired, wasn't it?
I think.
Anyway, they would just, every month I expect, like, we can't put this on. Nope. The camera guy. Shit talking, fuck CZ. I don't want to be here. I hate it. I only come because I need to drive the other guys. Good. And he walks, next promo, let's get somebody else. No, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that. Good times. But it's better now.
Yeah, I was
Zandy's
Zandy's junior champ for 8 months or whatever it was, and he couldn't pick me out of the lineup. He has no idea. Still to this day, guaranteed.
Nice. And then you left after you hurt your shoulder.
Yeah. And then
how long was your hiatus from the combat zone?
I came back in like 2009 or 10.
A couple years.
Yeah, a year or
Did
two.
you miss it? Did you only come back because you moved to Pennsylvania?
I think I came back in for a best of the best, which is fine. Like, decent little tournament show. It's got some buzz, but like, did a couple of those, and then I moved up to Pennsylvania, and that's why I came back. And it's definitely since gotten better. I'm working for him tomorrow.
Cage of Death.
Cage of Death.
Who are you wrestling?
Fucking Nick Mondo in the Cage of Death.
Nick Mondo.
Me and Rick Blade. Justice Payne in
Are
a
you
three-way.
joking?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember Nick Mondo wasn't the dude who like made CZW kind of famous at one point by acting
the
like
weed
a
whacker
insane
guy.
person. Okay.
Yeah.
Who are you wrestling?
Some four-way with AR Fox.
Oh, the Nick Mondo one was way better. I mean, I like AR Fox as much as the next guy, but that sounded way more exciting.
Yeah.
You could just insult AR Fox during the match.
Absolutely.
In front of
Yeah.
Good.
See if I can get him to really fight me.
That would never happen, from what I know of
He's too
him.
dumb.
Right?
No, I'm kidding. I like Fox. He's a nice guy. I'm just kidding. He's just a sweet guy. He's too stoned all the time.
Yeah.
He's like a koala bear.
Those things are vicious, though.
I hear.
I held one in Australia.
Don't they get all high from the eucalyptus or whatever it is?
Yeah, as soon as
They
you're
don't give
done,
them that. They're like.
yeah, as soon as you're done, you're feeding them the fucking leaf, and as soon as it's done, the leaf, it starts looking for more. And I had the biggest one on me. He was the heavyweight of the bunch, and I'm holding him, and I'm like, oh, he's eating. It's awesome. The girl leaves to do whatever, the handler, and the fucking leaf runs out. It's done. I look down at it, I swear, he looked at me and went, you better get me some of this shit. And he was like looking around like, where is it? And then I swear at one point, I looked back down and a good 2 minutes went by without, he was about to bite my nose, I'm pretty sure. And like, I remember he tried to kind of push himself up. I'm like, he's gonna fuck. And then she came back because she saw it. She's like, oh shit, here. Like, I'm sure something bad's happened before. Like, there was way too much urgency in her handing. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, just a minute, here you go. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, you better get this.
Throw it at.
Fuck. All right, so let's go back to Chikara.
All right.
Was it a big deal when you started wrestling there for you?
Yeah. I mean, any new place is always fun, and it was one of the bigger indies at the time. It didn't have the.
They got pretty
big.
big. They got
Back
big
then
in
it
like
wasn't
2010, 2011, right?
Yeah,
Because I remember I wrestled there a couple times, but I don't remember it being a must-see kind of place until these last few years.
Yeah.
But it was still fun.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I got banned for a while for swearing viciously.
Yeah.
Were you on that show?
No, but
No?
Quack talks about it during meetings sometimes.
Yes, I know he does. I had a big issue with that actually, because I had told Quack, I'm like, hey man, I'm really sorry. I just let it slip. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna shit talk you for 2 years behind your back at meetings and tell everybody you're not welcome back. But to your face, I'm gonna be a great person.
I've cussed a lot during shows. It's fun.
Have you?
I did one time where I was wrestling Incognito, who is now Sin Cara, right?
I almost fought that guy at a Ring of Honor show once. Yeah. I think he would have beat my ass, by the way.
Dude.
He is.
And before we proceeded to have the worst match that's ever happened in a wrestling show, he comes in the ring and like his ring entrance is like 17 flips. Like he springboard, double springboard, backflip, back roll, does a cartwheel. And I'm in the corner and you know the Smart Mark, they stand right here on the steps. I just look back and I go, I can do that shit to the camera. And I was like, oh, I'm fired. I'm so fired. And the ref comes in. He's like, all right, you ready, Chuck Dan? I go, no, I'm fired.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's on YouTube. Right?
He just said, oh, they left it on. They could have just edited it out.
Very easily.
Man, I remember I had to have a talk with Mike before I went back to do a couple of those Chikara matches because I was real salty about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not at first. I thought everything was fine until people kept coming up to me. Hey, man, Quack fucking hates you. What? Every time I see him, he's so nice. Just because I said motherfucker as loud as I humanly could.
Just on a family show, you say motherfucker.
You know why? I was really mad. That's why, though. I was upset legitimately because Eric Cannon, I felt, was taking liberties on Sexy Eddie. And I love Eddie. So I chopped Eric Cannon really hard and yelled motherfucker. I'm fine with it. It's all good. But sure. I apologized immediately. Thought it was water under the bridge, but it was not. Anyhow, does he still talk about it? Oh, there's no meetings anymore. That's all done.
He might stand in his apartment by himself. He might. I don't know.
He talks to the wall. Steen's done.
God damn good, Steen.
Tell me some stuff that you did in Chikara that you were pretty proud of, or just anything crazy that happened.
Man, I miss Chikara. It's weird because.
Sorry,
I found
a cold.
That's fine.
It's gross.
Yeah, it makes for a good.
I think I need to maybe blow my nose, but I don't see anything that would allow me to do that. Keep going.
There's a towel.
Yeah.
It's weird because I know you're not a big drinker, but I like to drink, and found a group of guys in Chikara that like to drink. And you would think we go out there and we do all this family stuff, and we're like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And then we just go get wrecked. And there's so many shows that I might get in trouble for this, but there's so many shows where like I would show up either just belligerently hungover or still drunk from the night before. I never wrestled drunk. Like, I would never drink before a match. But there are times where, like, you drink hard the night before, and you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm definitely still drunk. And there were many, I can show you shows where, there was one, I wrestled Hydra, and I was still drunk. I hate to say it because it's very unprofessional. It's a horrible thing to say, but I remember we had a really good match, actually, and I pin him, I give him 1, 2, 3, and I roll over, and Bryce raises my hand, and he leans over and he goes, "You should wrestle drunk more often."
Just because how good the match was. We give it a shot. Maybe you're more professional when you are.
Maybe. I'm a shit wrestler, so maybe I just get wrecked. But yeah, I miss that, because we would do double shots, and then in between, we'd get real drunk.
That's what you miss out of it.
I hate talking about drink. It feels weird talking about drinking with a non-drinker. It makes me feel like a piece of shit.
No, you're not a piece of shit. I'm not a non-drinker either. I just very rarely drink.
We were in England with Cabana.
He's a non-drinker.
Yes, and Adam Cole likes to drink. I'm probably going to get him in trouble. He's going to get angry.
It's all good.
We like to drink, and we were drinking. It just made us feel like such pieces of shit. We get all hungover, and he's like all chipper and bright-eyed, like got a night's sleep.
But also, did you guys drink in front of him while? I find Colt is very talented at making people feel kind of terrible about themselves when they're like drinking and doing stuff like that.
He's
I've
cool
seen him
with it.
do that.
He never did it with us.
Yeah, but like he's not like terrible in like he doesn't make them feel like, oh my god, I'm such a piece of shit. But it's just like, no, no, drink, please.
Yeah.
And then that's all it needs. Like, oh fuck, I feel guilty now.
No, always makes me feel like a dirtbag.
He does.
Just anyone, like if you're drinking around a non-drinker, because non-drinkers don't get it, you know.
I don't know. I mean, I guess, like I said, I'm not a total non-drinker. If people, I guess Colt's never. I think he did maybe drink once. He told me a story.
I think so.
But yeah, I see what you mean. They don't get the appeal.
Yeah.
So I see here that the Kings. Who's the Kings? Kings of Wrestling. I mean, this match.
Claudio Hero and
Taylor's adoptive father. James Todd.
That's still in it?
Yeah.
That's LL Cool J's real name.
Was he there for real?
No, and he's not my adoptive father. I don't know.
Did you put that in?
No. I think somebody in Chikara did that. It said they put in that, and somehow it made it through. And they also said that me and Vin Gerard, another Chikara guy, were cousins. That's no longer in there.
Speaking of Wikipedia, messing around with Wikipedia pages. Somebody once went on Al Generico's Wikipedia page and put that he and his life partner, James Twiggy McGee, are now living together in Montreal. And he said the source was Generico, an interview that Generico did with a Spanish wrestling website. Generico lost his shit. He was like, this isn't cool. Whoever did this isn't cool. It sounds too real, and it's not cool. Like, this must be one of my friends from home.
His English got really good in that story.
Oh yeah, it was surprisingly good. Through his
When
entire
you accuse him of being gay, it gets real. It's real.
So he was real mad at his friend who did it, which was me. I completely let the other dude take the. It was only up for 10 minutes. I just wanted to see how quick it would take for him to lose it. Turns out it was immediate.
I love that things on the internet can become real. Because I remember one time I was bored and I tweeted. This is when I figured out that Twitter is like kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I tweeted like something to the effect of like, really excited to make my Ring of Honor debut this week or something like that. And then I immediately got like texts and emails from Gabe, and like I know wrestling websites reported it, like, oh, Chuck Taylor's set to make his debut. And when I saw Delirious, he was like, what the fuck, man, what are you doing? I was like, I was just kidding, I didn't know this was a real deal.
Let's talk about Ring of Honor and how you've never wrestled there.
Literally never.
Isn't that you?
Never done a dark match
the only. I think Gargano never wrestled there either.
I think he did.
He
dark,
did?
At least, yeah.
How has that never?
I gotta
happened?
think. I mean, everyone's wrestled for themselves. I gotta be like the biggest guy in the Indies. That's
Yes, I think so.
I don't know who else would be.
I mean,
everyone's
I don't think Masada's ever worked.
Masada was in the. He was
Did he?
on the Carnage crew or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
I had no
He worked
idea.
for them for a while.
I had no
Doing
idea.
shows and stuff.
I'm blown away.
This was like 2003.
I'm not
He was
blown
telling me
away.
about
I'm
it.
surprised. So yeah, I would say that. How come that never happened?
I think they don't like me.
I remember you told me that when I was trying to get you into Scum last summer, after your contract with DGUSA had run up, and I kept trying to get you in.
Yeah, I told you.
It
I
just
think
wouldn't happen.
Delirious likes me as a person, not as a wrestler.
So he was mad when you put that you were in for Ring of Honor? He was mad?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think he was mad. He was like, "What are you doing, bro? What the fuck?"
What did Gabe say when he read it? He said he texted you.
Yeah, he was just like, "Are you really doing Ring of Honor? What's happening?"
That was a great game. Oh man.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite memory from Chikara besides drinking?
I had a few matches there one of my favorite matches I ever had was it was me and Icarus against the Colony in a hair versus mask match at the arena, and that's still to this day one of my favorite matches. Like, just when you like, it's where you like, you call in your match and you're like, okay, and when we do this, the crowd will come up like this, and it rarely happens. You're like, oh, when I do this, the fucking crowd will go crazy, and then they're like, whatever. But like that match, like everything we had, and it was like.
And then when it happens, just like, you're like, as it's in the ring, you're like, how come they're not
Yeah.
reacting the exact
Come on,
way?
what's your problem, guys?
Well, yeah, you get mad at them.
Yeah.
They're
But that
the
match,
fuck
they
ups.
were everywhere
exactly
we wanted to be, and
close.
it was like we had a table bump in it, and like all this like weird like late '90s WWF shit, like ref bumps and run-ins and all that, like shit that doesn't happen in Chikara, and like it's just I'm really proud of it. I look like shit in the match. I'm all like chubby and like pale and awful, but
Okay, well, you're proud of the match.
yeah. If I looked good in that match,
That's all that's missing.
Yeah. They finally put a decent picture of me up.
Did it used to be a
It
shit?
just looked like
That was one of
garbage.
the things Generico
Just
was
like
always...
hunched over like a gut and love handles.
Generico used to hate his picture on his Wikipedia too, because it was him when he was like fucking 20 or maybe 18.
With his
from, like,
octagon mask?
yeah, like that he had changed the colors of to fool everybody. So I guess that would kind of lead to PWG, right?
Yeah.
You started PWG in 2008?
Yes.
I was not there when you started. I had gone, I left for like 2 years, and you were there.
Yeah.
What was your first show?
All-Star Weekend number. I don't remember which number it was. But my first match was me against Candice LeRae.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was a...
I mean, it's great. It was fun.
Yeah? It was better than you and Lufisto?
Oh, yeah.
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 How did it happen? Like, did they contact you, or did you...
From what I've heard, I think she was like, hey, you should look at this guy. Like, she had seen my stuff. And then I think Super Dragon was like, all right, you want to be wrestling? I think that's how it happened. So then we had a match.
How did the Men of Low Moral Fiber thing come along? How long were you in PWG until that started?
Not super long.
You just put you guys together randomly?
Yeah, like I think Super Dragon realized quickly, as you know, everyone should, that I'm way better in a tag team. Hey, look who it is.
There he is. Come in.
But I'm way better in a tag team, and they need, you know, they do DDT, and he was like, oh, these two guys are similar, and they're both goofy, and so he put us together, and then they gave us a name, and then we started to get over.
You guys didn't come up with a name?
No,
Excalibur.
it was Excalibur. Yeah.
Adam Cole just walked in off camera. He's gonna stay off camera.
Oh, look at that final battle tan he's got going. That is a final battle tan.
Where's your kids with that?
This isn't. I'm not tan. I tan this morning.
I don't know. Are you?
I don't know.
I'm just.
I feel like I'm red.
This is the Kevin Steen life.
I'm like in the morning. This is how I do my weekends. This is how I know if it's a big weekend. So like shitty show, no tan. Alright show gets 1 tan. Pretty big show, 2 tan. Big show, that's a 3 tan week. That's how I know. That's how I know it's gonna be a good show. That's a 3 tanner. I hate that. It's a part of my life. I don't want
You actually live that way.
I know it's shit, man. I hate it.
I went tanning a few times in my life.
Yeah.
I gotta try to remember why. Like, I know it's because of wrestling, but I'm trying to remember what made me try to go tanning. And I can't. I don't remember what company I was wrestling for or why I felt it was a good idea. You know what I mean? I have no idea. It's so foreign to me, too. It's so silly.
The worst. Everything that I have to do because of wrestling.
You
or
hate
that I should do because of wrestling. Yeah, it's the worst. I hate working out, tanning, steroids, cocaine. I hate it all.
But you do it all.
Yeah.
It's dedication. So
I've never done steroids. Or cocaine, Mom. Calm down. I know you're watching this. Jesus.
Out of all the shit you did in PWG, what was the best thing? What, I don't know. You mentioned destroying that fan earlier.
Yeah, Capo kicking a fan is pretty big.
Yeah.
Calling Ricochet a gay lizard. That's pretty big. I was actually.
What about getting caught up in the ropes on that dive?
Oh, and I might snap my knee in half.
Oh my God. How? Okay.
Doesn't make
What
sense.
were you going for?
I've
Were you
done
going
it
for the
before.
step up
No,
on the rope? You were just trying to dive
Spaceman. I was gonna jump to the top rope and do
Oh.
it. I've done it a bunch of times. I'll show you. I can show you a video of it.
over.
I've done it
I
before.
believe you, but I didn't think that's what you were going for. I thought you were just going for a flip over the top.
No, because Willie Mack had just done his, and I was
Yes.
like, well, I'm after him. It's got to be. I can't just do the same thing when he's big and husky and black, and his is way more
You
impressive.
know what I would have done is just switch it around. And
I had him go last.
It would have been, yeah.
Fuck.
Anyway, how'd that feel? If you haven't
So
seen
bad.
what we're talking about, by the way, it's so gruesome. I think it's on YouTube, and
I think it was in
Don't-
WrestleMania.
yeah, it's on Butchermania, exactly. That's it.
It hurt so bad. Like at first,
It looked
like,
awful. I saw it from the back.
died, and it got caught, and I kept going. Like I landed, and I was like, oh, I'm such a bitch. Like I just fucked up. And then my body weight kept going forward, and I was like, ow, 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 fuck no. And then I was like, I remember Tony Nese was the ref, and I look over at him, and he's like, and I'm going, help.
There was no way to get you out either, because your whole body was bringing the rope up. It was just impossible.
I mean, it fucked my.
You still feel it?
Something.
Yeah, for sure. You had to.
Yeah.
It's one of the most. The only time I saw somebody get caught in the ropes worse is Generico was wrestling some Japanese dude I don't remember in Toronto. I don't know. Nakajima maybe. Is that possible? He kicks. Those kicks. I don't
Japanese
know.
guy, they all do.
Some dude they loved. Everybody loved it when they announced him. Anyway. He went for the dive where you run and then you kind of backflip over the top rope. I don't know how it happened. He went for it, and as he backflipped, he went over the rope, but his fucking head got stuck between the second and top rope.
Oh my God.
And his foot got stuck on the other side of the rope, under, like, between the first and second. So he's just caught in the ropes. I've never seen anything like it. It looked painful, but also very funny. Like,
Was he alright? Did he get hurt?
No, he was fine. He did another dive immediately after, and Ring of Honor edited out the fuck up, which I'm literally to this day angry with, because I thought, not in a million years will you ever see a fuck up like that ever again. It was more impressive than the dive. The fact that he managed to wedge himself in such a way, but they took it out. I'll never see it again.
Trent was in our match, and he kept he tells me every time I see him, like, that I did the dive, and he's like, I could have helped you. Like, he's like right here. He's like, I could have, moved your leg or something like that. And he said, I was just mortified, just stood there and looked. He tells me that every time.
Everybody in the back couldn't believe it. It was terrible. But I think you got off easy, man.
Oh, I should have.
You could have broken your leg.
I really thought.
easily.
I thought at first that I had.
It was so fucking gross. Oh boy. It's the grossest thing I've ever seen that didn't lead to a serious injury. You know what I mean? All right, so PWG is a good time. I'm sure you agree.
Yeah. I had another guy who was in England, and I'm pretty sure that they only booked me because Excalibur likes doing commentary with me.
You mean PWG?
PWG.
That's inaccurate.
Yeah. Okay. I suck at the ring. But we were in England, and there were guys going around to the merch table, and they're like, hey, I love your stuff. And then, go up to Adam Cole, and he's like, hey, man, I love your stuff in PWG. Like, I love your matches and everything. He comes up to me, he's like, yo, Chuck Taylor, man, I love your commentary in PWG. I was looking at you, I wrestle there, right? Like, I'm not just a commentator.
I prefer the compliments of the commentary.
I'm fine with
I'm more proud of commentary.
I'm a professional wrestler.
If they said that you would just do commentary, would you be down for it?
Fuck
Yeah,
yes.
you'd love that, eh?
Fuck yes.
Me too.
Make it happen, man. I don't have to snap my leg in half.
That is never going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so you did stuff in Dragon Gate USA and Evolve after all that?
Yeah.
How do you like that?
Yeah. No, I do like I have a shoot interview coming out, and I say a bunch of bad stuff about the Japanese dudes, and I'm gonna get so many angry emails after all these come out.
Let's talk about Dragon Gate. You spent, 2 weeks there in Japan?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
We were there during the tsunami.
Oh, was that scary?
I didn't really, have time to be scared. It was so, we were in, I think it happened in the south when we were in the north, or vice versa, whichever. We were in the opposite place.
Yeah.
And, I didn't really have time to be scared. We're kind of hanging out, and they're like, oh, this place is fucked, and we're going to fly you back home. We missed the big show, which sucked, the big paper.
Because of that?
They canceled it, because it was in wherever it was underwater.
So you didn't see anything, any of the...
No. On TV.
Yeah.
But no, nothing in person.
How did you like it?
I liked it. I loved it.
Yeah?
It was great, yeah. We stayed at the dojo, because the sanctuary was full, but...
Did you hate staying there?
No, not really.
I stayed at the sanctuary, and if I had to stay at the dojo, I think I would have killed myself.
No, it wasn't bad. They had Wi-Fi, clearly it was me, Rich Swann, and Johnny Gargano. We had our own room when we would stay up there, and I sleep all day because I'm a piece of shit. And we would come down and have dinner. The young boys would cook up dinner, and it would be good. And then we could work out at 4 a.m. I enjoyed it.
Was the monkey still around at that point?
No monkey. They had a dog though, but I was so scared
I know the dog.
Murder.
What was the name again?
I don't remember. Something weird.
I think it's the same dog. I like the dog. I like the monkey more though. Monkey was over there for me. I made friends with it.
I love monkeys.
It was pretty awesome. I got fucking scared the first time I saw it though, because nobody warned me that after the first, I got there on a Thursday. They put me in a hotel, and then we had shows Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Sunday after the show we would drive back to the dojo, and then they would drive me to the sanctuary. But I had to get off the bus and get into a car. So they drop us off in the street, and we have to walk a little bit to get to the dojo.
Yeah.
I'm walking with my bag, and it's 3 in the morning, and I don't fucking know. Nobody tells me, hey, around the corner there's a monkey chained to a tree. So I'm walking, I'm half asleep, and I'm also in Japan, and I'm thinking, I'm here for 2 months. I just had these shows. I'm contemplating life. I'm looking at the moonlight, reflecting off the fucking mountain that's right there. So I'm just walking, and as I'm turning the corner, I just see something move, wildly. I'm like, holy fuck. It's a wild monkey, fucking a foot away from me, trying to grab me. If I had been a foot to the left, it would have bit my leg, and I'd be dead. today because I would have gotten sick from it. I guarantee it.
Like outbreak.
Yeah, but it was cool. I immediately, once my senses, I got my senses back, I went to play with it like anybody else would.
Yeah.
It was cool. It didn't like everybody though. It would throw rocks at Jack Evans.
Probably because they fucking abused it.
I've never seen them abuse it in front of me because if they had, I would have been really upset.
I would have.
But Jack wouldn't be doing anything. Jack would be smoking or on the phone and would start throwing rocks at him. And then it would backflip. He would throw. I have it. I wish I still had that camera. I had filmed it. He'd throw a rock at Jack and then backflip on it. He's still chained.
Both backflip.
Yeah. All right. So you never went back though. You just
the once.
Out of choice or just?
No, I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
They hate me so much.
Why?
Oh, they hate me.
Tell stories.
Because I'm not black and I don't do flips.
If you were black but you didn't do flips, you think
I was probably not.
No, the flips are necessary.
Absolutely.
So if you did flips but you were still white,
I mean, I do flips. Not a lot, but
you do the back flip.
a back flip, I can front flip, I can do shooting star.
Really? I'm not aware of that. When's the last time you did one?
Like 7 years ago. But I can still do it. Like I can do a gainer off the side of the pool and land on my feet before I hit the water.
Can you do a shooting star on the next PWG shows?
I feel like by the time it would make sense to do it in a match, I'll be way too tired to do it.
Just do the first
I
one.
could, yeah, like it could be like kick,
your
body
match
slam,
starts, the
shooting
guy
star.
charges you, big boot
Yeah,
on the corner.
maybe. That's
Let's
that
do it.
opening. Yeah.
I'll do commentary.
All right.
Aren't you wrestling Brian Cage?
Yeah.
That's the match.
Perfect.
If that happens, the show's
The ropes are weird. I need a more stable balance. I have really terrible balance, and I can't even stand on the top rope.
We wrestled in PWG.
We did.
We spent the first 5 minutes wrestling a hat.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And that was the best part of our match.
Absolutely.
Match of the year chant. I left.
Yeah, we should have just stayed going. I swear, this is how PWG works for me. When I come to the curtain, bro, I'm here. People. And then I start wrestling, and it slowly goes down.
You're so insecure.
It's true. Watch a PWG show. Like I know you can't. I guess they do ring intros, so they'll be like, "From Murray, Kentucky, Chuck Taylor." People are like, "Fuck yeah, we love you." And then I'll do a move, and they're like, "Yeah." And I'll do another one, and they're like, "Oh." And then 5 or 7 more, they're like,
Come on.
"Watch a show."
So after our match, I told you that I thought you hated me. You remember this?
Mm-hmm.
I still think you do.
I don't know why.
You're very snarky. You said stuff on Twitter where I'm like, oh, he's kidding. But is he?
No.
I remember when I was announced for Evolve years ago, after I did the Ring of Honor comeback, and then Gabe managed to talk Cornette into letting me do a show.
Yeah.
He announced Kevin Steen's going to be at Evolve. And I remember you wrote on Twitter, fuck Kevin Steen, I'm on the fucking show. And I was like, what's his problem? And then I was like, you know what? I know exactly what to answer. And you hadn't been at PWG for a couple months at that point. So I wrote, hey bud, how's PWG going? And that was my answer. Because you hurt my feelings.
I didn't mean to.
I don't know. You were very,
To be fair, I think I was drunk when I tweeted.
Oh, okay. So you felt, you were...
No. I thought it was funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of guys in wrestling that you can't read. I think you're one of them. You're very hard to read.
I'm a very
Jimmy
nice
Jacobs,
guy.
very hard to read.
He's just a weirdo.
No, but so are you.
Oh, I'm a nice guy.
You
Ask
are.
Adam
No,
Cole,
you
I'm
are a
super
nice
nice.
guy. But you're hard to read.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I thought you hated me for a long time.
Was it because I tweeted something about how, I think when you first did your Weekend Escapades thing, I tweeted something like, oh,
The accessible
something like,
thing. No. Yeah,
You need to
you
be
should
more
be more
accessible.
accessible. No, I thought that was funny.
Okay.
You did tweet recently, by that I mean yesterday, about how many indie guys are going to email Steve Austin now, because I did and I got on his podcast.
Yeah.
She said, shitty indie guys.
Yeah.
And then I answered, when did you send your email?
I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, burn on Chuck Taylor.
Were they?
I'm sure.
Why?
Because I suck. I'm a shitty indie guy. That's you calling me a shitty indie guy.
But I thought you were calling me a shitty indie guy.
No.
But that's what it indicated.
Yeah.
See, this is where
But
this
it's true.
happens.
Literally, do you know like how many
I
listen to that
hope-
podcast and like
Here's the thing.
guy
I
from
hope,
Memphis, Tennessee's like
I hope that's not the case, because the only reason I emailed him
yeah.
is because he mentioned me with Colt, and we had met in the airport.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get on his podcast. So, but like, I hope not everyone's, I'll do the same thing. And
I
then he's gonna have
guarantee
to
you get a bunch. There's no way.
Well,
Call him up and ask him.
I think I'm gonna keep in touch with him, so I'll know if that happens, and I'm gonna inform people on the Kevin Steen show if that's the case. I'm gonna try to get names. If he tells me there's people that fucking email him now, I'm gonna get names and emails and read them.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Yeah, that's a great segment. Hopefully, that's a future segment on the Kevin Steen show. So you don't hate me.
Not at all.
I once had a 2-hour conversation with Robert Evans about how I thought you hated me, and he was trying to counter with arguments why he didn't think so. And then Jimmy Jacobs came into play, and we talked about how you guys are hard to read.
I don't think so.
Do you hate anybody in wrestling?
Well, sure.
Do you dislike? Do you want to go?
Not
No.
really.
You want to keep it to yourself?
No, I can't think of an example, but I like Robert Evans a lot. I like that.
Artie's the
a
best.
lot.
Yes, he's awesome.
I think
That's
he's
what-
seriously one of the best on the indies.
I think so too.
Nobody
I think he's,
plays a character better than
I think he's pretty criminally underrated.
Absolutely.
I think
and he's good. He's a good wrestler.
Yes, Ringo. I found that out. I had seen him wrestle a handful of times, but not really in anything that I could judge whether he was really good wrestler or not. I knew he had a great mind for wrestling, but I wrestled him in Quebec City in a small company back home, and he pretty much called the whole thing because he had all these ideas, because he was excited about the matches, so was I.
Yeah.
And it was so refreshing, first of all, to wrestle a dude who had ideas, and all of them were like great. They all worked, every single one of them, in front of a crowd who usually doesn't give a shit about anything they see. Not because they're jaded to wrestling, because they're idiots and they don't understand what's happening. Like they're dumb. But I love them because I wrestle there every month. Thank you.
Him and he did this thing in Chikara where it was he wrestled Mr. Touchdown. He was the Archibald Peck, the band leader guy, and
Would he be cool with you? Just it's weird.
very.
I know it's painfully
doesn't
obvious, but he did,
Right.
he did Colt's podcast and he didn't want to.
Well, he's dumb.
All right,
But no, he did the thing. I'm trying to give him a compliment. He did the thing where it's like a band leader versus the football guy, and then he
yes,
had a ballet. Seriously, some of the I'm not even trying to suck Chikara's dick here. Like some of the best stuff I've seen in wrestling
Suck
in 20 years.
Chikara's penis.
sorry. It's still not PG.
Well,
I'm trying to fillet
that's-
Chikara here. But no, seriously, some of the best
Pleasure
stuff. And then he did the
Chikara.
whole mask thing, and he did the
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Really good stuff.
I would keep up with Chikara. I would read what people would say about the shows around that time. And one time I had a road trip with RD, and I asked him to run down the whole angle they did for me, and it took him like 3 hours.
Yeah.
But I was getting excited when he was telling me
It's
about
terrific.
it. Yeah, and
And
it's
he's
not
such a-
like he was putting it over. It was just like, oh, so then we did that, and then Matt and Jeff 3.0, they were in the car too, and then they would be like, oh, that was amazing, and I was getting excited, like I wanted to
Shoot
see
names
it.
for 3.0.
Oh, they don't. Who gives a shit? Just the fact that I mentioned them here, they're gonna be so happy.
I hate both of them.
Do you?
No, I love both of them.
I can't tell if you do.
No, I
or
really
not.
do. I really do. No, seriously, like, and fucking RD is such a great performer, and Touchdown is like good at what he does. It's such like an old school story.
I heard it was all great
The
moments.
jock versus the nerd, like, it's unbelievable. No, 3.0, I love those guys. They were supposed to have like a big blood feud in Chikara, and every time Shane Matthews comes to the curtain, I just start laughing because he's
You told me
so
that.
entertaining to me. He walks to the curtain, and I'm in the ring, like, yeah, bring him out. We're gonna mess him up. He comes to the curtain, I just have to giggle and hide. my face.
I see what you mean because in real life, he does that to me.
Yeah.
I pick him up at his house. And he walks out of the fucking. I can't. It's his hair too. It's just fucking curly and flowy, and he's just wild.
I love him.
He's engaged. Did you know?
What an idiot.
I can't. No, she's great. No, he's lucky. Last girl he
He's
didn't.
such a piece of shit to women too, isn't he? That's the secret, huh? You just gotta be a dickhead to girls.
I guess. You want to go in the hallway and test it out? Just see the first.
Just be mean to
Let's go
someone
to
in
the
this,
girls.
in this Marriott.
Hey, bitch.
What are you fat, huh? That's my Shane Matthews.
That's actually pretty good. All right. So, what about Dragon Gate USA and Evolve? What do you take out of those places? Did you enjoy anything in particular?
I had a match with Johnny Gargano in Chicago. We had like an I Quit match.
I saw it. I rented it. I bought the iPay-per-view and watched it on my house on a weekend that I had off. I wasn't wrestling that weekend. So my wife goes, "What are we doing tonight?"
We're gonna watch Jake Mooney versus Masada. Is that on that show?
I don't remember seeing that.
It was the
I
opening
think
match.
she may have cut me off at a certain
It
point
was
on
the
the
opening
show.
match. Yeah.
Oh fuck! That must have been. I bought. There was
Busted
2
out.
shows that weekend.
Yeah.
I bought both. I think I started one late. Must have been that one. But anyway, she was not pleased when I told her I was gonna just buy Gabe's iPay-per-views and pay for them, because that's what I do. I pay for them. It's not like, hey Gabe, can you hook me up? Nope. I just buy them and I watch. It was a great match. Didn't you put him through a guardrail?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
He just fell through a guard. It wasn't supposed to happen.
It was insane. And then you
Cut the
booted-
fuck out of his leg. His leg was...
Yeah, you booted a girl in the face.
I did kick a girl in the face.
It was good. Was it on a scale of 1 to PWG rolling kick in the face of the fan? What would you?
It was not even half of that.
No?
It was one of... Sorry, guys.
I gotta see the kick to the face of the fan. Now I really gotta fish that out.
I don't even know if it's on YouTube.
The way you talk about it now and the look you have in your eyes, it seems like it's a career highlight.
It's one of my favorite things that's ever happened.
Yeah. Okay. I have to see this.
Right in the face.
You wrestled in Europe. You mentioned going to.
Yeah. Who's going back?
Looking for Brian Dixon. Yeah. You wrestled for you. You weren't wrestling for Dixon this time.
No.
How I've never gotten the chance to wrestle for Brian Dixon.
Really?
I heard it's a lot of fun from every single person that's ever been there.
Some people hate it.
Really? Who?
I think Masada told me he hated it. That's not really his style, you know?
Yeah. You liked it?
Absolutely.
Do you? Everybody tells me that it helped them improve.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You're working all the time. You know, it's like old school. You're doing like crowd work and stuff.
None of that shit is recorded though, right?
I don't think so.
It seems like, I mean, people talk about it so much, like wrestlers. It seems like he should start recording those shows and try to.
Yeah.
And he's had all those dudes on that are now like WWE.
Me, one time it was me and a dude against El Generico and a guy in a Super Dragon mask. One of your Highspots Super Dragon masks.
Speaking of Europe, I want to talk about something that happened in Germany in a match you have with Adam Cole.
Okay.
Simply because I've been told this story before and it makes me laugh a lot. Adam, could you come in here, please?
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
Bring that Final Battle 10 over here.
I like that you said, do you have to, when I already told you you'd do it.
Look how much of a scumbag you look like. Sweatpants.
Yeah.
Headband. Jesus
You're going to do it.
Christ.
You hear me? So, these two wrestled in Germany. Why don't you tell the story? I don't know which one of you tells it better.
It's Chuck.
But it really kills me.
Chuck's the guest.
I don't know if... I've never heard him... to hear him tell it, it's not that bad.
You have
And I think every time I tell it, it gets worse.
every time. Yeah.
So, okay. So we
This
have
is
a
in
match.
WXW.
Yes, WXW in Oberhausen, I believe. So we had this match. I see Adam Cole before the show. He thinks he's like 21. He thinks he's like a grizzled veteran. He's sitting here like just gut hanging out, just rubbing himself, licking his lips like Roderick Strong. And he's like, all right, kid, this is what we're going to do.
He did not say.
It gets worse every time.
He exaggerates the story, like maybe 5% of the story.
Next time, so I come in and Cole's just jerking off.
He's just going slowly and making eye contact. It's really weird. He's just looking at me like, hey kid, all right, this is what we're gonna do. I got this one idea. That's all we need.
You're really committing to it.
Very dirty.
You gotta give me a little more credit than that, too.
No.
His one shitty idea is he's like, all right, so at some point we'll go outside of the ring. Look, here's what we're gonna do. This is how you work. I'm gonna take a water bottle from a fan, right? Unscrew it, take a big drink. You feet around to this side. Spit the water in your eyes. The crowd's gonna go apeshit. They're gonna lose their mind.
Did he say
I have
that?
him in the palm of my hand.
Did he actually say that?
I think he said the crowd was
The
like
first time I heard it, when he was not exaggerating, he said that you said the crowd's gonna go apeshit.
I think he really did say that.
We're spitting water.
So we do the match, and I hit him on the outside. I'm coming around. He takes the drink. He turns. He goes to spit it at me. He swallows some of it and chokes, and just regurgitates some water. Not even on. Just like it runs down his chest. I think a little bit hit me. Just so this is what I see. And it hits me, and I go, "What the fuck was that?" And I'm looking at people. I swear to God. The crowd starts chanting, "You fucked up," for his shitty water spot. The one thing he wanted to do in the match. The crowd is chanting, "You fucked up."
What did you think when that happened?
He's choking. He's like,
Yeah, it was probably one of the most embarrassing moments in my career. I think I one of the few people that can say they got a "you fucked up" chant for spitting water.
Can't drink water right.
No.
Oh
No.
boy. Thank you. That's all I needed you for. But that's one of my favorite stories I think I've ever heard of a fuck up in the ring, because it's. I love the part that the crowd's gonna go ape shit.
They'll
It
love
makes
it.
it special.
That is so not true.
"You
Just
don't
the
know
fact
how
that-
over I am in Germany." Overheim worldwide. He's just looking at me, just like, I love it. We'll call the rest in the ring, kid. This is the one thing we need.
All right, well, I guess we're at the part where I ask you questions from fans. I haven't read these. I'm just gonna,
Click one, all right.
I have a bunch. Sen Garcia. Some of these people have some real weird names.
Yeah.
S-E-N, Sen.
My name's Chuck Taylor. Every time I want to make fun of someone's name, I'm like, oh, that's right, I'm naming after a fucking shoe.
How did Chuck Taylor invent the hand grenade technique? What did you come up with? What was this silliness?
That's not even a good story. When I was in high school, me and my friend were in Spanish class, we'd be bored, and we'd just do weird shit, like behind the teacher's back to try to make each other laugh. And we'd be like, oh, and we'd do that. It's a shitty story. But then one time, like, I think I went like that, just to make him laugh. And then I think he came to a show one time, and just because, I don't give a shit about the real fans, I just want to make my friends laugh. So I think I did a body slam, and I go, grenade, boom! And then it just kind of became more and more dumb. And then I watched, we did the slow motion one in Chikara one time where like I pulled the pin and everything went into slow motion. It was really dumb. But because Soldier Ant was in the match, and I had just watched Child's Play 3, I thought he should fall on the grenade. And that's what he did.
And,
have you ever seen Child's Play 3?
Yes, of course.
You know when the guy with the glasses jumps on the grenade, it's all in slow motion? So there you go.
So now it's part of your shtick.
Yeah.
All right.
It's dumb.
Chris Cugini. Does your comedic approach in matches ever get real heat from promoters? And if so, please slap them for me. This guy's intense. Does anybody ever get mad at the grenade spot, for example?
Gabe doesn't like me doing comedy.
I was going to say Gabe because I remember an instance where I was wrestling for Gabe in Ring of Honor. It was the last show we ever booked, actually. He got fired that night. It was me and Generico against the Portal. What's their fucking...
The Syrian Portal?
And they did the snake charms. When we came back, he was like, oh... It's like, I should have told him not to do that fucking snake charming spot. I don't want any of this. That just Chikara shit on my shows. Then he got fired and they started not minding it so much after. But
yeah, no, he doesn't like when I do comedy. But
he still lets you do it.
No, well, I just do it. I don't know, I don't like the indie style.
What do you mean?
Just the same shit everyone does all the same shit. No one stands out.
Do you think that the stuff like the grenade spot or comedy makes you stand out?
I rarely do the grenades. But I don't know, I think so. If everyone does all the same moves, if 7 guys do a 450 on the show, and then one guy comes out and he does that, and I think they'll remember the...
But how would you change that about indie wrestling? I'm curious. Because the reason everybody's doing the same shit now is because everybody's trying to get noticed originally, and then it just became life.
Yeah.
The super kicks and the flips and all that shit.
I love that kind of shit when it's in its place. I just think you need variety. I love death matches. I love comedy matches. I love high flying matches. But if every match on this show, if there's 7 matches of fucking 450s and super kicks and all that, nothing stands out. If everything is great, then nothing is great. Right?
I understand what you mean, but so basically, you think it's about maybe people knowing their spot on the card?
Yeah.
But nobody wants to know their spot on the card.
I like knowing my spot.
You like it?
Yeah, I like being second.
Look at that fucking
7 minutes, dude. But it makes the shows better. If every fucking guy goes out there and does 20 minutes of the same shit, the shows suffer, I think. People need to start thinking of shows as a show instead of as a highlight reel to get them booked in PWG.
That's a good point.
Indie wrestlers.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they go to PWG and have to do all this stuff. That crowd loves everything.
I agree.
I don't get booked because I do a dive.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is a misconception, but I think that also helped PWG become what it is now.
That's the
the fact that everybody thought they had to go there and kill themselves.
Sure.
Now I feel like a lot of people could benefit from, just changing their approach to their matches in PWG, and the crowd would still be into everything.
So.
but I don't think anybody really wants to.
No. I love that fucking crowd. When I did that dive, I almost snapped my leg in half. They didn't chant "You fucked up." They chanted, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, they were concerned.
Any other place in the world would have been like,
I agree.
Fucked up, your leg snapped in half, you bitch. That crowd chanted, "Are you okay?"
They're the best fans. I said it on the Steve Austin podcast.
Oh,
Liam Azogi. It's
What's
Liam.
these fucking names?
I don't know, dude. Sometimes I think people are ribbing me. Considering it was a big part of your career, were you happy with the way Fist split in Chikara?
Oh my god.
There's a story there.
Yeah, it was alright. It had run its course. We'd been going for 6 years.
Well, how did you guys break up? I'm not.
Chikara died.
Oh,
basically.
that's it.
Well, and then like I think they'd put Sugar Dunkerton with us, and then he got kicked out, and then Johnny quit, and then it kind of fizzled. I don't exactly know what happened.
Were you happy when they put Sugar Dunkerton? He annoys a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't hate him, but I get it. You want to get angry? Email me.
B-Boy, I'm assuming it's not the PWG match opener.
Oh wow! I wonder why he thinks you hate him.
No, I love B-Boy, but he's always opener or second match, and he's one of those dudes that could really benefit from changing their fucking style in PWG. Do you not?
I don't know. I like B-Boy.
I like B-Boy too. I really do.
Everyone.
As a matter of fact, when I started in CZW, he was the nicest dude to us right away. He was the only one that wasn't a dick.
Sweet, okay.
But I still think that he shouldn't wrestle the way he does.
Yeah, well, maybe openers shouldn't be 30 minutes. I get it.
Exactly. So, B-Boy, actually, I think this dude emailed me, B-Boy, not PWG B-Boy, but this guy emailed me asking for advice on moving. Is for someone living out of America how to get trained for wrestling, and I didn't answer him, and now he's asking you the same question.
Oh.
For someone living out of America, what advice would you have for that person, for a wrestler looking to come over? Do you have any advice?
Move to America, dummy. Where does he live?
I'm pretty sure that when I read his email, that's what I wanted to say. Just move to America.
Yeah. If you want to get booked in America, move to America.
Makes sense. That's
like
what
there's no guys are really blowing up anywhere else. Like other than Canada, but like there's no really like European guys that are coming over here regularly.
No, but here's the thing. I was in Europe a couple weeks ago.
There's a lot of great talent.
They have a lot of really great guys.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think I actually overheard some of them talking about how they don't get booked in the States and all these, British promotions bring guys over and German. The thing is, there's very few people here that follow what's going on there.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people there that follow what's going on here.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Those British guys that want to come over, they may look down on the guys that. I guess I remember seeing somebody tweet about that. A British wrestler tweeting about how, as long as guys are willing to pay their own flight to go wrestle in America, nobody's gonna get flown over. But here's the thing. I kind of think like you have to do that at least once to get, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Otherwise, nobody's looking at you.
Yeah.
You have to make a sacrifice.
I also saw Frankie Sloan. I follow on Twitter. I met him when I did Dixon's, and he tweeted something the other day actually that I thought was a good point. He said something to the effect of like, to British wrestlers, like, don't try to emulate what you've seen from American shows. There are plenty of Americans doing all that same shit. Like, make your own style. You know what I mean? That's why, like, I can think like Doug Williams. Like, he was so much different than everyone else. Like, and Pac's just a freak, so that's why.
So was Nigel.
Nigel, exactly. Like,
but Nigel lived here.
Yeah.
And so did Doug for a while. I mean,
but like, those are the kind of like, if you're a guy who does 450s and enzuigiris, like, we have hundreds of those over here. Like, it's hard to make your own place.
That's true. Daniel Brewer.
Oh, all right.
What's the worst injury you have ever suffered?
Well, I have my shoulder. When I separated my shoulders, the type 3 separation.
I don't remember how you. I know you already said how it happened.
Cassandro in the wheelbarrow
and
the death.
And he broke his leg on ring.
Yeah. And then last year I got drop kicked in my knee while it was planted, and it went backwards. That hurt really bad.
Who did that?
Green Ant.
Who?
Green Ant. You want to marry? And then this at PWG was pretty bad too. My 2 knees that I did, in 10 months apart.
Yeah.
And then my tooth got knocked out. That's probably the most of it.
So it's
So I'm lucky, right?
I guess.
In 12 years, that's all that's happened. A couple of knee injuries, a shoulder, and a tooth.
Yeah, I suppose that's, yeah.
Some guys have died.
That's, yeah. All right, last question. Tom Blackett. I have a feeling, this is going to end. Yes, he sends questions in for every single one of these. Yes, 3 of them. Have you tried using any other in-ring explosive devices aside from the hand grenade? And if so, how did that work out?
Do a bazooka thing sometimes.
And?
It's pretty sweet.
Better than the hand grenade?
No.
You're so proud of yourself. Pretty sweet.
Should I do this? It's dumb. Everything I do is dumb.
The only time I've seen you look as proud of yourself is when you were friends kicking that dude in the face or that girl.
Oh my god. I want that on DVD. I just want a tape of me kicking fans. I did in Germany one time too because I was doing a tag match. You know, they're right there in the ring. I just went to step into the ring and just boom, right in the face. And he was fine with it. That's why they're close. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. I don't know what accent that was. It was not a German accent. I don't know where that guy was from.
It sounded like it was from Lord of the Rings or something.
Middle Earth.
Does it make you sad that because you share a name with a popular brand of footwear, you're unlikely to ever be one of the top Google searches for Chuck Taylor?
No, it's great. I love it. I can't like search myself.
Because there's just shoes.
It's just fucking tennis shoes. Like, so it's good for my ego. They don't have to read reviews of how much people hate me. Unless they tweet at me.
Yeah, then you have no choice but to suffer it. And the third question is the one he asks every single person that's sat across from me on this show. Would you like to wrestle New Jack? If you could, would you wrestle him?
I mean, if I was booked against him, I would.
You would?
Yeah. I would prefer not to.
Right?
I
choose.
I love him. As a character, I thought he was awesome, but like, you know, and then he stabs people for real. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. But if I guess I was booked about him, like in a no-show, I'd be a bitch.
I'd be a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm afraid he would like.
I'd probably show and then find a reason why I can't wrestle him. Like,
if I literally broke my leg.
I have a really
look, it's so broken.
All right. Mike Kunkel wants to know. It's the last question. It's gonna end.
The last question is the last question.
Yeah, I know. Then I realized I don't know.
W came in then.
Oh.
Great production value.
Yeah, right. Cane mask is an integral part of my thing. Do you have any stories about John Zandig? Any hilarious moments or anything like that to tell? Besides the fact that he can't pick you out of a lineup.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I met him twice, I think, and you know, I think I already told him one about how he took the contract from the guy and said, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" Ah, I'm pretty sure he growled when he heard it to me, and I was like, "Oh, contract, sweet, CZW."
Did you have a hard time not laughing in his face?
I probably was laughing. I don't know. Just laugh. When things are funny in the ring to me, I just laugh.
Why not?
Yeah.
I think I got you to laugh at PWG recently.
Yeah, that
I
package
yelled
pound
at
driver on the hat.
Oh, did it really?
I lost it on that one.
I thought about when Gargano was cutting a promo, and I yelled, "Did Gabe approve this?"
Oh, I did laugh at that. I did laugh at that.
All right, buddy. That's the end of this, I think. Thanks for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like me?
Yeah.
All right. See ya.